What is up, everybody? Welcome to Theocracy. I am your intrepid host, Theo Snodgrass, comedian and podcaster out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Wherever you may be, thank you for making me a part of your day. Dude, we have been having crazy tech issues today. Holy shit. It's been crazy. So as long as my audio cuts out at any point, please be sure to drop it in the chat. I will be paying attention to you guys. You guys are the only people who care about me and the only people who love me. So you're the most important people in the world to me. So please, I always pay attention to you. So please, if my audio cuts out at any point, please just fucking let me know. Oh my God, Ben, crazy news week, right? Yeah, so let's talk about the Alex Preddy shooting. Probably going to talk about that for a bit. We're going to cover that today. We're going to talk about some different perspectives on that. Mostly, we're going to look at what retarded people are saying. That's mostly what I do here. This is not like a news analysis show. This is not like a legal analysis show. This is not like a firearms channel. This is supposed to be like just like a commentary show. It's just what I think about stuff. So, you know, if you want information, you're probably going to have to go somewhere else. This is not like an information show. It's a commentary show. But mostly we're going to go over what people are. We're going to look at some of the video that's come out. We're going to talk about what some people are saying about it. Try to figure out why that is. It's weird. Do you guys remember, of course, like 2018 to 2020 when we were just like inundated with like police shooting videos that looked like really bad and sounded really bad. We were given all these like narratives about these police shootings being really bad. And then, you know, we find out that a lot of the things we were being told were not true. And then as we're seeing, you know, and then pretty soon all police are wearing body cams. And now we're seeing a lot of the body cam footage associated with this. And so that narrative about like police shooting on our people and stuff like that has kind of gone away as body cams have become ubiquitous. And yeah, it turns out that they were lying to us. And I remember when that happened. It's indelibly printed onto my brain. I will never forget that they did that. And now, like, the same thing is happening here where we're being fed a bunch of narratives about when Renee Good got shot, right? They said, oh, this was just like an innocent soccer mom on her way home from work or her way to pick her kids up at daycare or whatever. And then that ended up not being true. She's part of a network of people who are like deliberately agitating ICE, and she hit a dude with her car. Like, here's the thing. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. Okay. We're not talking about what should happen. We're not talking about deserve. Okay. We're not talking about any of that. We're not talking about like legally justified. That's not my place. But we're talking about if you hit a law enforcement officer with your car, there's a good chance you might get shot. And I don't want you to like make surprised Pikachu face when it happens. Okay. You just, how could I have ever predicted this? You could have thought for 2 seconds. That's what you could have done. And it's like, oh, it's mean and bad to shoot people. It's like, I agree in principle, but I mean, like, at some point you need to take responsibility for yourself, man. That's the same thing with this other guy. Like, we were told that he was like this amazing, upstanding citizen, and everybody who knew him said he was just this like awesome dude. And then it turns out that not only was he part of a network of people who were like deliberately antagonizing ICE, not only did he show up to that protest carrying a gun, it wasn't even his first confrontation with that. He had broken ribs from like a week prior where he'd been in a fight with them. Like, he was out there like fighting them on purpose, and he was like he was part of one of these like one of these signal chats What these groups, this is like organized insurgency, I guess, which is what we have now. This is like a full-blown color revolution, which is like fucking crazy. It's like the fact that, I mean, I said this on the last show, but the fact that the CIA has been doing this in other countries is like kind of fucked up. Now that it's happening here, I'm like, hey man, this is kind of fucked up. This is kind of fucked up. Like, I didn't think it would be, I didn't think about like what it would be like to, watch, people I know go like psychotic because of propaganda. I didn't think about like, oh fuck, that would be really, really bad. And one thing I noticed, by the way, you notice it's like pretty much just white people in the streets this time. I don't know what that's about, but I want to look into it. Like, I've talked to a couple of black people about it. And what they've said is kind of like, they look at it as like a fool me once kind of thing. Like, a lot of black people feel like they were like ripped off by Black Lives Matter and they were exploited, and their emotional energy was exploited for stuff that ended up like not being true and not leading to any like substantive structural improvements, and that like Black Lives Matter ended up being like a money laundering scheme for the people who founded it. All those remember those gals who bought those big mansions in LA that got burned down in the fires? Yeah. So like, I don't know if that's the reason. I don't know what the reason, but it's all like, or maybe it's like white guilt motivated. That could be it. Honestly, it's like a bunch of, it's a bunch of white people who are like losers. It's like not white people who are doing well. It's like, I said this on the last show, but like the fact, it's not a coincidence that both of the people who got killed are 37. Where it's just like they've stopped believing good things can happen in their lives, and they're like, well, I got to do something or my life is going to be meaningless. Which is wild because fucking Renee Good had children. So that's crazy. That's supposed to add some meaning to your life. Yeah, but like, it was crazy because like they trotted out all these people talking for the Alex Preddy. They trotted all these people talk about like how awesome he is and how he's this like super cool dude. And then there's this video of him just like being an asshole. like right after, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you go, and by the way, if you have a concealed carry permit in Minnesota, you're not allowed to bring your gun to a protest. That's actually like a thing. That's actually part of it. So, like, I'm not trying to be an asshole here. And by the way, what he was doing was not protesting. He was going out on purpose to deliberately antagonize ICE agents and deliberately inhibit them in the performance of their duties. That's not the same thing as protesting. It's not peaceful protesting, because like the narrative is he's out there peacefully protesting, and really he's part of like an organized insurgency effort. So, yeah, you have people who are part of an organized insurgency who are insisting that law enforcement treat them like law-abiding citizens. And that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. It's very much like, it's like this sibling, I'm not touching you bullshit. It's like this, I'm not touching you. And then mom, he hit me. We become like a society of tattlers. Dude, I watched this video recently. I don't know if we'll get to it during the show, but it was one of these, they were doing one of these change my mind deals in Britain. And he's just getting his shit. He's just getting punched. And the dude's got his phone up like this. And he's like, oh, he's assaulting me. He's assaulting me. It's happening. He's assaulting me. It's like, well, bro, just punch him then. When did we become a society of tattlers? Like, I'm going to take a video of you beating me up so that I can tattle to teacher when the teacher, you're going to be in big trouble when the principal gets here. Bro, can you imagine John Wayne doing that? Just like, oh, I can't do a John Wayne impression, but like, oh, he's assaulting me. He's assaulting me. It's like, bro, just hit him. When did we become like such a like pussified society of like tattletales? It's crazy. It's not just like, obviously like leftists are like the queens of this, like the like tattletale, I'm not touching you, do. Whoa, hey, calm down, buddy. Why are you reacting to me? And it's like, why do you think that happens? Like, why do you? And for some reason, we've had it so that the person who's doing I'm not touching you, it's like pure like younger sibling morality, because it's like I'm not touching you, and we decided that person is doing nothing wrong, and the person who reacts is the person who's at fault. I don't know how we arrived at that conclusion. I mean, at some point we have to just let people experience consequences. I think this refusal to let people experience consequences is having just disastrous impacts on people's behavior. Like, I mean, the way that people talk now, I mean, you know, you could just tell. You just talk to people. It's like, I can tell you have never been punched in the mouth, and I would really like to fix that for you. You know, look, as a grown man, if you've been punched in the mouth, that will help you so much in regulating what you say to, like, especially to dudes who are bigger than you. I will tell you, as someone with a mouth, that is a lesson I had to learn. I'm thankful I learned that lesson early. I was like, oh shit, if I'm going to talk like this, I better learn how to fight. You know what I mean? If I'm going to talk like this and I'm going to go into dangerous environments, I need to be prepared. Somebody might try to put hands on me. It just is what it is. You know, and that's talking, and I'm not talking about should, I'm talking about is. It shouldn't be like that, but it is. Right? You have to adapt to is. You can't, like, this is the thing that the left is doing right now, is like anything that doesn't conform to their perfect version of how the world should be in their head makes them furious. Anything that doesn't conform to their perfect vision of what the perfect utopian leftist paradise could look like, where everybody like farts unicorns and shits Lucky Charms, it just makes them furious. Anything that's like not perfect. It's like, what's crazy? It's so crazy. I don't know, like, why people are like putting their lives on the line for like Somali fraudsters and like Mexican child molesters. I don't know why that's the issue. It has to, this is what I'm saying. It has to be like downstream. It has to be downstream of propaganda. Like, I mean, and hey, shout out to, by the way, because I know there's some people like this in my audience. Shout out to those of you that, you know, never took the jab, never fell for any of the propaganda, didn't buy into anything, never caved, never believed them for a second. Shout out to you guys, because you guys are fucking holding the country together. The only sensible people out here, really. You know, I think hands up if you've fallen for at least one fake media story. I know surely I have. You know, I've fallen for fake media stories before. So, man, shout out to you guys who haven't fallen for any of it. That's awesome. Shit, man, I might lose, you know, it sucks because, you know, I don't, you know, I'm in comedy. A lot of people look, and so I look at my, you know, my Instagram, my Facebook, whatever right now. A lot of the people that I like know and like who I do comedy, you know, around the Northwest, you know, I like all these people. You know, I get along well enough with these people in person. I'll be on a show with them, whatever, but you see them posting all this crazy stuff about, you know, ICE is like literally the Nazis, and, you know, they're taking people to camps and all this stuff. And it's like, bro, I just don't think that. And if you, it's crazy because the way that they're talking is like, we need a revolution now. And anyone who doesn't think so, anyone who's like MAGA or whatever, like, should be have all these terrible things happen to them. And it's like, I don't consider myself like MAGA. I'm just like a person. I just call balls and strikes. Like, I'm not on a team. Hello. Hi. Sponsor this half hour. Cats. Hi, baby. Sponsor this half hour. Cats who need attention for some reason and can't accept that daddy's working. Right, buddy. All right. Where was I? Let's go ahead and say hi to the chat real quick. We got a pretty good viewing audience today, which I'm happy about. Hi, gay. Yeah, dude. Late and gay. God, it was, dude. Okay. So first, I couldn't get Facebook to accept my live stream at all, which it does sometimes. Sometimes it will like not accept it if it doesn't like the hashtags, or if it doesn't like the title, or if it doesn't like the subject matter. Like, I've run into that before, because I'm just like, I'm a comedian. Like, so I say it like I would say it at a comedy club. And the internet doesn't like that all the time. So sometimes you got to fuck with it. And then I go on Facebook and it's like, I've got like 17 versions of this stream scheduled. And it's like, fuck it. Iron Oxide is here. Shout out Iron Oxide, friend of the channel. By the way, later this evening, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, we will be embarking on Ironcast, which is a news and information show. That is a news comedy show, but it's also more information focused. This show is more of like a freeform monologue style. That show is going to be more information focused with some like commentary sprinkled in. So if you want more information about stuff that's going on, that would be where I would go. This is more of like this is just like fun. Honestly, I want to go back to talking about dumb whores. This was a dumb whore show. This was a show about women being stupid, right? It was me complaining about stuff. The first clip I ever made of this show, I was like a 10-minute tirade on why the WNBA is a psyop. And that was what this show was about. That was the heart of the show. I don't want this to be like a serious policy show. I don't want to be like, but I have to address this because it's like weighing heavily on my heart. I hate that this is happening, you know, that I'm watching people get emotionally manipulated to like potentially, you know, put their ass on the line for people who hate them. That's crazy to me. Anyway, we got some videos we'll probably get into as the show progresses. We'll just kind of see. Like the last couple shows, I've spent most of the time monologuing. I haven't gotten to a lot of the video clips that I wanted to get to, which is fine. I'd prefer that. It's easier. It's better for me making clips if I'm just monologuing. See, what you guys don't know, the show is 2 hours. So it's me spending 2 hours trying to get a couple of good 30-second clips. So literally only a minute of the show even needs to be good. So that's your fault for listening the whole time. It's on you. Ronald Skinburn is here. What's up, buddy? Friend of the show, Ronald Skinburn. I'm out in the barn right now. I'll try to get you out of TV in here. That's awesome. Very cool. I'm on TV in a barn right now, y'all. And this is important too. I have a fan who owns a barn. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Shout out to people who have barns. Yeah, sponsor this half hour. Barns. And the barn cats that keep them safe from rodents. The bitchification of America. Yeah. And then let's rise up. Yeah, the unvaxxed. The unvaxxed folks. You guys deserve a ton of props because you didn't cave to the social pressure. So you have to give them credit. And they didn't, you know, and then all the emotional manipulation in the media. I think they were hip and wise to the fact that we're being lied to before other people. And so you got to give them credit for that. But yeah, like the fact, like converting America into a bunch of tattletales instead of a bunch of people who fight is just like infuriating to watch. That's, you know, I may end up picking apart that video, but that was so crazy. I saw that thing first thing. That might be the subject for the weekend show, actually. But that, like, this whole, like, I'm not touching you bullshit is just very, very, very hard to deal with within the bounds of the law. And even people who are, like, fully within their rights to defend them. But of course, that's the thing is like, we don't punish the people who instigate. When somebody instigates a conflict, we say, oh, this person is like mentally ill and they're deeply disturbed and they had a bad day and they were on their period. And then when somebody responds to someone instigating a conflict with them, it's like, how dare you use physical violence? How dare you? So it's like, yeah, people are responding to incentives. Yeah. Ain't the WNBA on strike or getting ready to go on strike? Yes, they are. Yes, they are, which is crazy. Full Metal Nate, I'm so glad you brought this up. I'll take a little time to address this. We'll have to do a whole separate show on this. But like, yeah, the WNBA is preparing a strike, which is crazy for a company that makes no money. That's crazy for a company that is like subsidized by, you know, a bunch of different part owners and also subsidized by the NBA. So it does not make money. They're hoping it will make money someday. And they're going on strike. And they were just offered a huge pay raise and they were going on strike to get another pay raise because of deserve. Like they don't, I literally, by the way, if you talk about this to feminists, they literally don't get it. Like I have my dear communist lesbian friend who's no longer a lesbian, but as far as I know, still a communist. I talked to her about this. And she was like, well, why shouldn't the WNBA players get paid the same as the men? And it's like, because their league doesn't make any money. League loses money. And she's like, why does that matter? She doesn't understand that it's a business and it's based on merit. And that like the NBA players started flying on private jets when the league was making so much money that it made financial sense to do so. Like private jets are not like, you understand the purpose of a private jet is because your time is valuable, too valuable to have you stuck in an airport. It's not a luxury. It's like, I deserve this. It's not like sitting in a hot tub. Like the purpose of private jets is your time is valuable. So we got to move you. And so the WNBA players wanted private jet. Like they wanted all the luxuries and amenities that the NBA took a long time to earn before their league had financially justified it. And they were offered a huge pay raise, which they turned down in favor of going on strike, which is wild for a league that does not make money. And by the way, the NBA players that do make money and do have endorsement deals and do have big social media earnings or make a lot of money on OnlyFans, as the case may be, the reason they have a platform is because the WNBA made the players. So they may get piddly ass money from the WNBA, but then they can go on social media and make a shit ton of money from that, or get endorsement deals and make a shit ton of money from that, or go to the Olympics or whatever. So it's like they should be grateful, and they're being incredibly entitled, which if you've ever dated a woman is not surprising. So anyway, we'll do a whole nother show on that. This is supposed to be, we're going to get into some of the footage here. Let's do this. So I think the one I want to do is let's watch, we're going to watch the newest Alex Preddy drop, and we're going to watch it from a couple of different angles. Because remember, this is the guy the media assured us was just such a good male nurse, just the bestest of boys, the goodest of boys, never did nothing. And this was like fucking 11 days before. I'm sure you guys have seen this video by now, but we're gonna, oh shit, Alpha Omega's TFOA is here. What's up, homie? Happy to have you. That's awesome. Good for you, man. Hey, good for being off work.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man
days before he got shot. And so this guy, apparently we've confirmed with like some reasonable degree of certainty that this guy is the same guy that got shot. So it looks like him for sure. And he's wearing basically the same clothes. So it certainly looks like him. They're telling me they used facial recognition on it. Like I didn't use facial recognition on it personally. So this could be, that's a thing. I feel compelled to say this every time I bring up a clip. Is like, this could also be like media bullshit. Like, I don't know. I'm not an authority figure. I'm just a dude who's figuring it out. But just you guys have stuff to do during the day, and I don't. So I do this. Like, but I don't know stuff you guys don't know. So if you have information I don't have, throw it in the chat. The last couple chats have been very, very cool about that. I've learned a lot. I learned a lot from my chat because you guys are top quintile in IQ, and you guys pay attention to stuff. And a lot of times you guys catch stuff I don't catch. So just forewarned, be forewarned, no matter what clips I show you, I haven't done any like extra special authentication to make sure that they're real. So I'm just showing you what's there. Go ahead.
Who appears to be Alex Preddy interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol.
Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying you deserve to get beat up by that, but if you do that to a vehicle and there's armed law enforcement inside, there is a really good chance you're going to get your ass kicked. I'm not saying you deserve to get your ass kicked. I'm not saying you deserve to get shot. I'm just saying if you do stuff like that, there's a really good chance you will. Okay. And we need to be honest about the fact that actions have consequences. And I'm not trying to be an asshole. Look, I'm genuinely sad for his family that he's dead. It's a huge bummer for his family. His parents seem like decent. His parents told him not to do this. So, and he's 37. That's not that much older than me, so I understand what it's like to be like, oh shit, I'm in my 30s now and my life doesn't matter. I have nothing of significance. I totally get that. At the age of 30, I abandoned my legal career and went and returned to stand-up comedy. That's like fucking, that's a stupid thing to do, basically. I mean, it worked out, but like, it's a stupid thing to do, basically. I was doing, stand-up from like 18 to like 25, 26. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm going to be a serious person and go to law school. Very stupid. Very stupid. So I understand what it's like to be in your 30s and think your life is going to shit. But like, this is not a way to express it. Go ahead.
Shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of January 13th...
Now, obviously, you shouldn't hop out of the car just to kick the dude's ass. Like, if you're going to do that, place him under arrest. Like, you shouldn't just be kicking dudes' asses to be kicking dudes' asses. Like, if you're going to kick a dude's ass, like, place him under arrest. Like, have a reason to do it. I will say that. So, I understand being mad, though. And bear in mind, everybody's yelling at him, cussing at him, blowing whistles at him, and then the homie just kicked off a taillight. So I understand why this happened, but like, you know, you can't be surprised is what I'm saying. You can't like, don't hit me with like surprised Pikachu face that somebody shot you.
Our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground.
And that will happen. By the way, that's not just cops. If you kick out anybody's taillight, there's a good chance you might get your ass kicked. Right? I mean, okay, let's take the cops out of it for a second. Let's say you're in the parking lot of a TGI Fridays. And you walk up to somebody's, Chevy Suburban and you kick out their taillight. There's a non-zero chance somebody's going to jump out of that car and kick your ass, right? Am I crazy? Like, take the cops out of it for a second. And I know that law enforcement is supposed to have... I understand holding law enforcement to higher standards. I understand they're supposed to have a higher degree of decorum than an average citizen. But just all things being equal, if you were in the parking lot of a Denny's or a Chili's or a TGI Fridays or like an erotic boutique or a Walmart, wherever you were, so the places I go, just let's take places I go. PetSmart, wherever you are, like if you kick out somebody's taillight, there's a non-zero chance they're going to come out of that car, at least have words with you, or possibly kick your ass. And you have to know that's a possibility. And on some level, if you're doing that, that has to be what you wanted. Like these people are behaving in such a way as to bait bad use of force incidents that can then be used as propaganda. Which is whoever the fucking evil intelligence agents or whatever who started this fucking color revolution in Minneapolis, what they did is they found guys who felt like losers. I'm not going to call this guy a loser because at the end of the day, from what I've heard about him, apparently he was young. He played football. He sung in the choir. Like he had people who liked him while he was alive. He was a nurse for veterans, which there's a lot worse things you could do with your free time than that. So, I mean, not saying he was an asshole. Like a lot of assholes are actually drawn to professions like nursing for some reason. There's an inordinate amount of assholes who pop up in professions like that where everybody tells you how good you are. It just attracts like narcissistic assholes. Same with doctors, same with lawyers, same with, any profession where it's like, oh, wow. Oh, you're so good. Oh, man, I wish I could do that. You're so good. You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy. Any of those good boy professions attract assholes. So maybe he was an asshole. Who knows? I don't know him. Whatever. But, he had people. I'm not going to call him a loser, but I'm guessing if he's doing this, he probably felt like a loser. And like, were they good? Like full-time poet, I can say as a full-time comedian, probably not a super lucrative career choice, I would guess. Just guessing. So probably like, hey, somebody who feels a little rudderless, feels a little misguided, feels like their life isn't amounting to shit. I haven't heard anybody say anything about a wife and kids. I had heard that he had a wife and they broke up, but I haven't verified that. So I'm guessing this guy was dealing with some serious life setbacks and he felt like a loser, and he heard this propaganda and it felt like a cause to attach himself to. Now, also, my theory is these are the same people who've been getting worked up the whole time. They've been gradually getting them worked up. Like these are the Black Lives Matter people. These are the COVID people. These are what was the other one? Ukraine people. These were the trans rights people, and now it's the Mexican pedophiles and Somali fraudsters are what they're caping for, I guess. Those causes just got worse. The Palestine people, I think it's the same people been getting, and I don't know where he was at specifically, but I think it's like the same cluster of people that they've been getting worked up the whole time, and they've been kind of building up to this. And then this was, by the way, this is, we talked about this, but this is not happening in other parts of the country. The reason this is happening here is because local government is hostile. State government's hostile. Local law enforcement's not cooperating. And by the way, now it does seem like local law enforcement is cooperating. And after some ICE agents, they stopped doing like the street whatever, and then they changed the leadership around, and now MPD is out arresting people who are protesting. So that's pretty good. So it's good to have local law enforcement cooperation. Is going to make everything easier. And the other thing too is like this is not what like ICE agents are like trained for. This is a very, very, very tiny part of this is like city police would be way, way more able to deal with this. This is the kind of stuff like beat cops deal with. This is not the kind of stuff ICE is like mainly trained for. It's not that they have no training for this, but it's like not the main thing they do at all is deal with like belligerent people who are like spitting on them and like might have a gun and all that stuff. That's not the main thing they do. That like city cops deal with that all the time. So if you had like city cops out there who actually know the community, like, first of all, a lot of these people are going to be repeat offenders, people who've been and had run-ins with law enforcement before. So the city cops are going to be like, oh, that's Larry. All right, let's go deal with this. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to know, like, these people are coming in from the outside, and this is like not the main thing they do. So that's why a lot of this shit is getting bad, is because it's like typically not within their job description. Anyway, this is not good. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, play stupid games, as the saying goes. Yeah, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, guys. And guys, I'm telling you, whatever's going on in your life, man, don't fucking do this. Don't do this. And it's like, that's the thing. It's like, I know everybody in here got better. You know what? Go build a Lego Death Star. Go do something else. Don't do that. Like, get really into bird watching, but don't do this. Well, I'm in my 40s and just lost my job. Maybe I should go pick a fight with our police officers. Probably not. Probably not. Or blammoed for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's like you're probably going to get your ass kicked or shot if you do stuff like this. And by the way, that goes for antagonizing like anybody with a gun. If you're antagonizing anybody with a gun, or if you're like Renee Good, surrounded by dudes with guns and you're antagonizing them, there's a chance you might get shot. That might lead to you getting shot. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole about this. I'm not trying to be like super callous about it. But at some point, guys, we got to take responsibility for our own behavior. And like, think about the cause. I know it's like very common, and we're going to get to that. There's a ton of people posting videos on social media right now who are saying, oh, that this is the Nazis and it's time to like go fight them. And it's like, it's just so obvious with what they're talking about that they're completely like fiction brained, and they just have no idea what real conflict involves. Like, I've been reading a book about Napoleon because I really like Napoleon. He's a very interesting figure, and about the Napoleonic Wars and just all the fucking horrible injuries and disfigurements that used to just happen to people in war. And that was just like part of it. Like, just people just die, and it's horrible. It's a bad thing. Like, you don't want war in your country at all if you could avoid it. But I think it's weird because a lot of these people, they've been reading fictional narratives, and they haven't been studying real history. Otherwise, they would know what a color revolution is. and they would know that they're being psyoped, or they would suspect it. Anyway, it really just looks like people being easily manipulated. Does this guy have a GoFundMe yet? Seems like a good way to get social validation as well as a pass to cash out to next if can. Okay, well, there's the other thing too. So a doctor that he used to work with, female doctor, not going to say the gender of the doctor. It was a female doctor. Anyway, she posted, she's like, this is my good friend, Alex Preddy. He just got shot. I'm going to put up a GoFundMe so you can compensate me for my trauma. I literally had that pulled up, but I was like, there's no way this is going to come up, so I'm not going to bring it up. But yeah, a doctor he used to work with who's a woman has a GoFundMe because of her trauma. At some point, man, some of these ass whoopings are deserved. And in fact, I don't think enough people are getting their asses kicked, to be honest with you. I don't think it's too much ass kicking that's the problem in this country. Did you go to college to be a lawyer? Mind your business. Mind your business, Jason. Jason, friend of the channel. Also, flashbang lady calling for a medic doesn't seem so crazy given that there are nurses in the riot. Yeah, that's what we got to stay focused on that. Like, this is an organized effort, and I have some of the signal chats pulled up. We'll see if we have time to get to it because I'm kind of monologuing right now. But yeah, there's evidence that people had organized signal chats. It's probably not crazy that they're like, hey, let's make sure we have at least one medic on scene. If you get injured, call out medic. And then probably like we got registered nurses or whatever who are on the scene, people who actually have medical training on the scene, which means that they're organized and there's specializations. There's people who are spotters, people who are following them, people who are whistleblowers, people who are like medically trained. The different people having different roles and some of them being armed. Guys, this is looking a lot like an organized resistance effort to me. This does not look like just regular law-abiding citizens who are protesting, which is how it's been framed narratively. Like, they're deliberately framing it like that to make these people more sympathetic. And by the way, do not lose track of this. They're going to bat for Somali fraudsters and Mexican pedophiles. That's who they're going to bat for. And they're trying to frame it like they're trying to show you like wall-to-wall videos of like children crying and be like, this is why look, a child cried once. He had a little runny nose and his eyes were teary. Therefore, we need to abandon Western civilization to the barbarian hordes. And it's like that logic, that assertion doesn't follow from the supposition you just made. Like that assumption does not follow from your premise. Like you haven't made a logical case. You just had a feeling. So, to build a Lego Death Star, you must first be able to afford a Lego Death Star. $1,000. Oh, shit. I didn't know it was like, bro, what is going on? What is going on with the price of Legos now? Damn, I was like, no worries. Strider's here, friend of the channel. But go do something besides this. Anyway, let's watch the rest of the video and we'll get into some of this. He's trying to get back up, and obviously
during
this
the
is
altercation,
not the best video.
Agents fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd.
And there's a crowd gathered around here, so they're trying to like fight with him while there's a crowd surrounding them. So it's like, again, I don't think they should have hopped out just to kick his ass. I mean, they probably should have. If they're gonna like arrest him, if you're gonna arrest him, or don't if you don't, he'd probably still be alive if he got arrested. If he got arrested and charged with destruction of property or whatever, or like, I don't know what they would have charged him with. I don't know what kind of like, what charge would have been appropriate given the circumstances. But if he was in jail, he wouldn't have gotten shot. So
they continued to
sponsor this half hour. Jail.
Hold the man down.
Jail, friend of the channel. Go ahead.
Before they retreat and he walks away. The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Preddy was wearing on the day he was
they just
killed.
pulled him out to kick his ass.
What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband.
And do you hear that? They said he was carrying a gun during that incident, and it was visible in his waistband. Now, to his credit, he didn't pull the gun, but like going out to deliberately antagonize student loans. I'm reading the chat now. Well, go to deliberately antagonizing law enforcement while you're carrying a gun is like not a smart idea. Let's see. What else we got in the chat? Never forget some of the worst people you know are doctors and nurses. That's true. There is like a really, for some reason, and don't ask me how I know this, there's an overrepresentation of chicks with borderline personality disorder in the nursing profession. I don't know why that is exactly. I don't know what the whole psychological profile of it is. They are very promiscuous and very evil and very temperamental. Don't ask me how I know this. It's extensive research. Let's see. Highest rates of infidelity and riskiest sexual activity are all in the medical communities. That's true. Out of those student loans, Theo, don't want to talk about it. Judges tend to let these people go within 48 hours. Yeah, and so there is a significant contingent of especially criminal court judges who are just leftist activists. That's true. And they are focused on using their role on the bench for activism to try to bring about their far left political agenda for the criminal justice system. And they're more focused on that than they are on faithfully executing the law. And because those are elected positions a lot of times, they have the support of the public in doing so. So that's a real problem that we actually have to get. That's one of the reasons that I left the profession is it's completely, not completely, but it's very ideologically captured by beliefs that just do not bear themselves out in reality. And they're so in their bubble that they don't see it. Like if you have been on the streets and you've seen violence up close, you're like, oh, these people don't need health care. These people need to be in fucking jail. We need to put them in a fucking hole and never let them see the light of day again. But if you have been on a college campus for like 8 straight years of your life, then it's compelling. And then you go into some big building and you just like don't interact with the streets. It removes you from the actual reality of what's happening at the street level. I mean, it's very easy. It's very easy to like smugly say, yes, yes, criminal justice reform. Make crime legal. No one will do crimes. Just give them money. And yeah, that's actually isn't reality. Turns out if you make crime legal, more people will do crimes. And that's why California looks like Mad Max right now. Let's see. That model gun he was carrying is also known for accidental discharges. So he was doomed just walking into it. Yeah. So the negligent discharge theory is gaining a lot of traction online. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's certainly plausible. And again, it's just everything about that situation. It totally makes sense how that happened. It doesn't mean it's not a huge bummer. Obviously, I wish this weirdo wasn't dead, but what are you going to do? Like, we can't sit here. We would be holding law enforcement to standards that no human could meet if we're asking him not to get shot in that situation, given the wider context of what was happening. Like everybody like blowing whistles at him and cussing at him for weeks and interfering deliberately with like somebody was going to get shot eventually. And that's the whole point of this, was to get a bad use of force incident that they could use for propaganda. And we know that it was for propaganda because of the way that they fucking face-tuned him. They face-tuned him, guys. What a fucking black pill, man. It's like, this guy's not hot enough for a martyr. We're going to have to tune him up a little bit. Every nurse I know is divorced and a hoe. Yeah, and that's pretty normal. That's pretty normative. Yeah, nurses are mostly just promiscuous whores. And, you know, wildly mentally unstable. And just generally speaking, not good people. So, despite the narrative. By the way, early childhood education, also whores. So they're two of my top 2 red flag professions. Preschool teachers, and the younger if a woman is a teacher, definitely a whore, but like the younger the children are that she teaches, the more likely it is that she's a whore. To the extreme. Let's see. Ask me how I know about medical professionals. Yeah, bingo. Razor Fist has excellent video and activist judges it. It's evergreen. Yeah, dude, it's a big problem. It's a bit like activism within the judiciary is like a huge Huge fucking problem. And by the way, it's co-occurring with women becoming the majority in the legal profession. So my graduated class was 2/3 female. So this is only getting worse. And we don't have time to get into that, but this is just like women just like have different ideas of, actually we are going to get into that. Women just have different ideas about how punishment should work. They're generally just uncomfortable with the idea of people getting punished for their actions. Huge bummer, but
Here, he continues to stand at the scene.
yeah. So we didn't leave after that. They left.
On
And
the
so
day
I
he
wonder
was
if they
killed,
didn't
the
arrest
Department of
him
Homeland
because
Security.
I wonder if they didn't arrest him because there was a crowd gathering and they were like, fuck, this might not be safe. So that might be why they didn't choose to go through with an arrest. Also, they might have had somewhere else to be. But like,
claims Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, approached officers holding a handgun. That claim has been contradicted by analysis of bystander videos from multiple news investigations, which concluded that Preddy was holding a phone, not a gun, when he was pinned to the street.
yeah, that doesn't matter a whole hell of a lot, actually. I know it seems like that makes a big difference, but you know, in a big pile of humans where everybody's doing violence and you get tunnel vision and he's holding a black object and hands are flailing everywhere and it's going near the waistband and you know that he had a gun on him at one point, like none of that shit matters. I mean, that matters to like normies who've never been in a violent confrontation before. So that shit is persuasive to normies and retards, but like that shit doesn't matter. At some point, you just have to take responsibility for your own bullshit, man. Anyway, we have another angle of this confrontation, I think. Oh, we have what Tim Walz said. This is a great side-by-side video. Hold on. This is a great side-by-side video of Tim Walz talking about it while it's happening. This is what Tim Walz said, and this is what actually happened.
What they did was, and with Renee Good, what they did is they hit at the best of us doing activities that are at the core of what it means to be American.
The best of us doing activities at the core of what it means to be an American. And this is
what they did was, and with Renee
such a
Good,
good side by side.
What they did is they hit at the best of us doing activities that are at the core of what it means to be American.
Right.
What they did was, and
yeah, thoughts and prayers, buddy. What a fucking idiot. Anyway, this is another angle. I'll just go over this. This is another angle. And this, as you can see, he's just like yelling, fuck you. Just inserting, this is him right here. He's inserting himself into the situation. He's not involved in this. What the fuck is wrong with you? Every fucking day of your life is something, something, something. I don't know what he's yelling, but it doesn't sound complimentary. Look how much bigger homie is than him. Jesus Christ, dude, you can't just... Dude, no survival instinct. Like, I'm not a big dude, so I don't, like, just run up and yell at people who are bigger than me on purpose like that. I just don't. I'm sorry. It's just, like, not a smart thing to do, especially not if they're carrying a gun. It's retarded. Love it. This is good. Because women and kids are typically met with significantly lesser punishments than men. Real punishment seems cruel when you've been treated with kid gloves your entire life. That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah, we've largely done away with real consequences for women in this society, and children too, which is why we have some of the worst behaved children, some of the worst behaved women in the world. That's why. It's not a coincidence that we're the societies that have no real consequences for women also have some of the worst behaved women. Same with children. And, you know, similar mentality. And that's why, by the way, that's why, like, homegirl that picked up the flashbang and it blew up in her hand, because she has no ability to connect actions with consequences and, like, reality. She has no ability to, like, map onto reality. She doesn't know that reality has consequences baked in. She doesn't understand that because that has not been her experience with life so far. Her experience is, and this is why, you know, I'm so adamant that women shouldn't vote. And I know that that's like not a popular opinion. I mean, it is with you guys, but it's not a popular opinion, generally speaking. I know because I keep bringing it up. Not popular. And I don't mean that in a sense of like women don't have equal human dignity to men, because I am Catholic, I am Christian, so I have to believe that men and women have equal human dignity, but women do not experience reality the same way. Like there's 1,000 ways that the world is kinder to a woman than it is to a man that shield her from understanding how reality works. And because of that, her ability to assess risks and map a situation and like look at society is going to be inhibited. And women are great for like building communities that are all about sharing and making sure everybody feels included, which is awesome if you're running a kindergarten, but it's really bad if you're running a society. A society benefits from being hierarchical and having strict rules that are enforced. And that is way more, that maps on way better to how, you know, men think. So when it comes to women are just like the way women kind of like natively think, and some women are not like this and some men are retarded too. So I'm not saying like, I actually am a big fan of like very, very, very few people voting. I think universal suffrage is a retarded idea. Most men and most women should not vote. Most men and all women should not vote. Like only like a select group of dudes should probably vote who actually know what the fuck is going on. Like the founding fathers intended. Like universal suffrage is a retarded idea. So I want to be clear about that. Some men are retarded too. You know, I'm not excluding that, but like the reality is like the way women think is like really good for like building communities and taking care of children and setting up like a kindergarten classroom and stuff like that, and like teaching children to get along. But if you scale that up to the society-wide level, you get like mass retardation. Yeah, apparently she lost some digits. Yeah, that's reality for you. Your survival instinct dies if you become a leftist. LOL. Yeah, that kind of seems like they don't have any meaningful survival instinct, Nate. I'm telling you, they just, I think it's because of lack of contact with reality. I think this is why, because you remember colleges are basically just daycare centers for adults where they shield you from reality for as long as possible. And then they shuffle you off into some like cushy laptop job or whatever. Like you're not like, none of these people have ever had to like been in real physical danger. They've never like had to like, you know, never dealt with food scarcity. You know, they've never lived on the street. I mean, some of them maybe have, but like most of these look like, you know, fat, useless millennial white leftists to me. And notice 0 black people. And this is Minneapolis. This is where the George Floyd riots were. So it's not like they don't have black people there. And it's not like black people haven't rioted. No black people. What is going on with that? Like the black people I've talked to, and again, there's the problem. The black people I know are all super based. So that I don't know if that's like representative. But all the black people I've talked to are like, yeah, no, fuck that. They either said, black people will fight if they think black people's interests are implicated, which in the case of like police brutality against black people, against unarmed black men, which was the problem for a while, and black women, like that the sense was our interests are being implicated here. So we're going to show up for our people. But they don't feel that same way about Somalian fraudsters and Mexican pedophiles. So the only way to like motivate people is you got to pull on white guilt. And black people don't have that. They don't have white guilt. The other thing I've heard from blacks is that they felt completely duped and manipulated by the leftist media from Black Lives Matter, and they're still pissed about it. And they're like, nah, fool me twice, bro. Not going to happen. And they're still pissed about it. So that's what I've heard. I don't know, but it's like conspicuous, right? That like the last time this city rioted, it felt like, oh, shit, you know, and I don't see any black people. I've seen very, very, very few out there. So I don't know if it's like fool me twice, shame on you, shame on me kind of deal where they're just like, they're not buying the leftist media's bullshit anymore. Or if it's just like, I don't see what this has anything to do with me. I'm not Somali and I'm not Mexican. So who cares? I don't know. I don't know, but it's crazy because we've heard. I mean, we showed the clip a couple weeks or a couple shows ago of the white leftist protest, or turned out it was a Jewish leftist protester that I was calling a white leftist protester. That was my bad, guys. I actually didn't know she was Jewish when I started that clip. I don't always watch the clips all the way through before I play them on the show, so I didn't know that was going to come up. I'm not trying to initiate a mass noticing. That was purely coincidental. But yeah, she was calling this black ICE agent a race traitor. Which, like, what the fuck does that? Because that's how white leftists think. The white leftists think all black and brown people are one category, and then there's the superior white category that has an obligation to save them. It seriously is like white man's burden logic. It's like fucking Rudyard Kipling, we have to go colonize the world to save it from its own retardation kind of thinking, which is, by the way, based friend of the channel, colonialism, sponsor this half hour, colonialism, bring back the British Empire. I didn't know I was going to end it there, but that's where I decided to stick the landing on that monologue. Let's take a look at the chat because I have a very smart chat. Used to be based on land ownership, but today only elites and cutouts for foreign governments would get to vote because they own huge swaths of land. Yeah, the land ownership thing seems sticky. So what I've heard people say is we switch to a household vote where married couples get a vote between them. And and the only way a single man can earn a vote is through military service. That was one thing I heard proposed, which would significantly sort of like so like a little bit Starship Troopers service guarantees citizenship. And if only married couples each get one vote, then it doesn't create the perverse incentives of, because the problem with having like every individual autonomous person as a voting block is, one, single women tend to vote out of fear as a herd. And it seems like first of all, their primary political issue is whatever TikTok tells them their primary political issue is. And apparently the thing that animates them is being able to murder their children in the womb and being able to be naked in public without consequence. Apparently, as long as they can be promiscuous, naked, and murder their children, that's what they'll vote for whatever candidate makes those things easier, which is fucking horrifying to find out. Single men, to their credit, at least vote based on economic concerns. But Jesus Christ, man, that was bleak. And then, we saw the Democrats trying to market it like to women specifically. And they're like, you can vote for Kamala, even if your husband, you can just lie to your husband. It's fine. It creates this perverse incentive to pit married couples against each other, which is, and I know I say this a lot on this show, that's one of the most evil things I can imagine. The problem is the Democrats keep coming up with creative new ways to be evil. So I have to keep saying that. But like at the time, that was one of the most evil things I could imagine, was deliberately pitting married couples against each other for political interests. Like, I mean, so that was what I've heard, like a household vote model, which I think is kind of favorable. I like that. And households should be able to agree on like what's in their best interests and go for, because it shouldn't be different best interests within the same household. Like what's in your best interest should be the same because you have a shared interest, because you're part of one team. And it would get people oriented towards team thinking. Like instead of two autonomous individuals, like it's about our rights and having these abstract discussions they don't fucking understand. They should be like, hey, you know what? What's in the interest of what's going to make life better for our family? That should be the concern, and then military service allowing you to like earn it. And bro, also like a lot of like chicks who are in the military are like, those are chicks who would probably vote the right way anyway. So it's like, I'm kind of like less bummed out about that. But yeah, like, and this whole idea of like single women as a giant voting block that just votes on fucking hysteria that has to go, because that creates all kinds of perverse incentives to just funnel them propaganda through TikTok. Like this device, the propaganda device that we're all fucking addicted to, that's super effective for shaping public opinion. That's created a lot of this shit we're dealing with here. This shit was created by a deliberate stream of propaganda on TikTok. Like that's another one of the most evil things I can possibly imagine. Like Crazy. Let's see what's lots of people were told they're special and could grow up to be whatever they wanted. This has resulted in superiority complexes to people with literally no expertise in anything. Big time. Yeah, a lot of people grew up thinking they were the main character. The other thing too, and I say this on the show all the time, but I'm going to say it again. I know everybody in the chat's heard it, but there might be new viewers on the replay, so I'm going to say it again. What we did was we took a bunch of people and we sent them to college and we told them that made them better than everybody. That made them part of the aristocracy. And we raised their class consciousness so they became aware of everybody who had more than them. And then we made them be baristas. So we took a bunch of people, told them they were going to be aristocrats, told them they were better than everybody, and forced them to take menial service jobs to survive. And I'm telling you, you cannot unfuck that pony. You cannot undo that level of class resentment. Because the thing in college, we turned them all into Marxist revolutionaries and then made them join the proletariat after telling them they were aristocrats. That's how you create Marxist revolutionaries. That's how you create a Marxist revolution. That's how you do that. You cannot unfuck that level of class resentment, guys. You can't do it. We have a bunch of highly resentful leftist millennials and Gen Zs who, and the millennials especially, because we're getting to the point now where it's like you either amounted to shit or you didn't. You either followed your dreams or you didn't. You either did what you said you were going to do or you didn't. And a lot of the folks who didn't are like, fuck this. I'm going to go die in the street because then at least my life meant something. Terrible. Isn't this like the white savior complex left is always complaining about? How are they offended by all these white Karens? Oh, they're projecting. That's what it is. So they're exactly right, Nate. But this is an example. Remember, whatever the left accuses you of doing, that's what they're doing. So when they accuse other people of being white saviors, they're actually white saviors. And they really do think that black and brown people are less than them and need to be coddled. There was a study that came out that said leftists they dumb down their language when they talk to black and brown people. And that was in like the Washington Post. So it's like a real, like ostensibly a leftist paper. But yeah, that's pretty like white leftists actually do think of black and brown people as lesser beings that need to be saved. And a lot of these Karens, it's misplaced maternal instinct. So it is all this quote unquote support is very, very condescending. And honestly, maybe that's why there's no black people out there, is because they're hip to it. They're wise to it. And by the way, no Somalians out there either. Why aren't the Somalians out there fighting for their own survival? Why is it white people on the front lines fighting for the survival of fucking Somalian pedophiles? Or Somalian fraudsters. Sorry. We don't know if any of the Somalians are pedophiles. Let's see. We have body cams thing for BLM going down. They started noticing. Oops. Yeah, that's true. Like body cams. They fought for body cams. And thank God we did, because man, our perspective on police shootings changed when every single one was wearing a body cam. That changed my mind a lot. I was like, fuck, man, I didn't know it was like that. And also, like, actually being on the street and interacting with street people, that will change your mind. You're like, yeah, you know what? You need to get your ass beat. You need to get thrown in a hole. Like, I don't want to deal with your bullshit anymore. I don't care what medical attention you need. You have like a demon on you and you should get your ass kicked and thrown in a hole so I don't have to deal with you. Because like decent people shouldn't have to deal with shit like this. Once you interact with street people and once you realize there's some people that are just going to impulsively and sociopathically like steal from others and they don't give a shit. Yeah, throw them in a hole. And there's people who are just going to do violence impulsively and they don't even give a shit about other people. Like they're not concerned about upholding like safe community norms and stuff like that. Like, cause here's the thing, I'm mostly like follow like quote unquote white suburban norms where I like say hi to people and I'm nice to people and I don't steal and I follow laws. But I've lived in a lot of like diverse urban neighborhoods. And I can tell you those norms are not universal. A lot of people just like fuck with people if they think they can get away with it. And those people need to be beaten up and put in jail. And a lot of times if a cop tries to stop those people from doing whatever retarded evil shit they're doing, they're going to attack the cop. And honestly, cops deserve more credit, truly. And I didn't always think that. I didn't always think that. I was like a turbo libertarian at one point in my life. But the truth is, like, cops are dealing with a lot. And without them, like, that's the thing is, like, everybody wants to live have clean streets, but nobody wants to watch the streets actually get clean. The reality is every use of force incident looks bad. Like, no, stop. Don't be mean. It's like, fuck it. Kill him. I don't care. I'm serious. I don't care. I'm surprised more people haven't gotten shot with all this. Anyway, what is this? I've counted 14 in all the protest footage we've seen so far. Of course, they're all dressed like white hipsters, says white hipster soys. Yeah, okay, that's the thing, is like, how much are those like broadly representative of what Black people think, or are those like nerds with humanities degrees from universities? Are those people who like majored in like gay crying therapy and they got like their master's degree in like gay basket weaving studies and, you know, gay dance therapy or whatever from shithole state university? And then they came back with a bunch of like retard ideas, and they hang out at like hipster coffee shops and they say things like, as the only person of color here, may I just say, meh, 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 meh. I mean, look, I'm from the Pacific Northwest, so I've hung out in a lot of hipster spaces, like doing comedy and shit like that. And there are like mad people out there who act like that. And I'm thinking that's Alpha Omega. I think that's probably the people you're talking about. I don't think that's broadly representative of what just your regular run-of-the-mill Black dude is thinking. I think you're probably right. I think you made the right connection there. Let's see. Military or community service IMO, not the court-ordered kind. Yeah, bingo. If you can come up with some way to serve your community, like all us because in Starship Troopers, if you've read that book, which by the way, if you haven't read that book, go read Starship Troopers. Shout out to Roguish Nerd who bullied me into reading Starship Troopers. Great book, but yeah, it focuses on military because it's just like, that's just what the book is about. But that's not the only kind of service that gets you citizenship. And there's lots of different kind of service. And I think that would be better if more young people had experience serving their country, they might have more buy-in and they might have more patriotism. And so if people who serve the community are voting, people who have families and children are voting, then you're going to have a society that's voting in the best interests of children, community safety, patriotism, people who actually understand how the government works. Yeah, and that's like the universal suffrage. A lot of people are just voting for whoever will give them more Pringles. They're just like, give me more Pringles. And they have their hand out. Give me Pringles. I want more Pringles. And they'll just vote for whoever's going to give them more Pringles. That's retards. That's how you get a retard society. That's like not a thinking person society. You get that way. And it's like, look, I understand like most people are retarded. That's how you get mob rule. And again, the founders, the reason they set up the system the way that they did was to avoid, they saw democracy as rule by the mob. And remember what we always say on the show, a mob is 2 standard deviations stupider than a person. Mob is chimpanzee brain. That's why it's all about give me Pringles. That's unfair. Mer, mer, mer. Mobs have big emotions. All mobs are good for are getting torches and pitchforks together to go kill Frankenstein. That's it. That's what a mob is good for. A mob is not good for deciding difficult policy issues and evaluating difficult trade-offs, because there are trade-offs, okay? Like the kind of like deportation effort we're undergoing right now, it has trade-offs. One of the trade-offs is somebody's going to get hurt, okay? If we have a bunch of illegal immigrants in the country, the native citizens are going to get hurt. If we do big deportation efforts, some of the immigrants are going to get hurt. But there's no option where only good things happen and 0 bad things happen. That option isn't available. So we've got difficult trade-offs to deal with here, and we got to consider the trade-offs thoughtfully and go from there. You know? But and that's very difficult to do when you have to appease an emotional, hysterical mob of idiots. Let's see. Have you heard anything about Amelia Me, purple-haired cartoon Giga-based English nationalist? Yes. So we played the game on, I think that was one of the shows, Rogues Gallery, shout out Iron Oxide. We played through the game on one of his shows, and we looked at a bunch of the memes. And that's, I think, a really good sign of what's to come. I think we've got a significant sentiment of like nationalism and patriotism that's swelling up, which I think is generally a positive thing, but could obviously be channeled in negative ways. That's why we talk about the dissident right so much on this show, is we want to keep our eye on them to see what they do. But I mean, let's be honest, their argument is really persuasive right now. So at least in terms of identifying the problems, the dissident rights argument is very persuasive right now. Only those who have a stake in the future should vote. Yeah, I think so. By the way, the reason I like saying that is because then I end up disenfranchising myself. So because I'm not a married guy with children and I haven't like served the community, so I wouldn't get to vote. So I think that makes my argument somewhat consistent. Given proletariat citizens a glimpse of the aristocracy is like giving a child's toy sentience. Yeah, dude, it will fuck you up forever. If you get a chance to live amongst the aristocracy and then you have to go back to living amongst the poors, that will fuck you up forever because you don't understand how much better their life is than yours. And then once you do, you're like, fuck. And like all you can think about is trying to get back. It's crazy, man. It will fuck you up forever. It takes a lot to be able to process it once it's over. I doubt any Somalians are pedos. There were no kids involved. Yeah, I think it's only the Mexicans that were all the sex offenders have been like Latin American. Oh yeah, no. There were no kids at any of the daycares. Oh man. Mandatory reading list when I know I need to publish the reading list. I'm putting it together. And these are just like books that I suggest you guys check out. I'll publish that probably later this week. And that's just like, I'm just going to post it and you can like add to it and make suggestions. I'll do it as a community post on the YouTube. And then you guys can like make suggestions for things to add in the comments. And then I'm just going to keep adding to it. And we'll keep adding to it. And hopefully I'll be books I should read too. And then, yeah. Moral education, like Japan integrates it directly into the curriculum. Dotaku, doesn't matter. Japanese shit is a formal subject taught weekly, focusing on values such as honesty, perseverance, gratitude, and respect. Yeah, and isn't it interesting how how Japan has like a coherent, relatively homogenous society where and they have a high trust society where I saw a video, dude, of Japan where they had a bunch of bikes locked up and they had the keys in the locks, the iPhones at the Apple store just sitting on the table. You just pick them up. So that's how confident they are you're not going to steal. And if people do steal, they're on them. Boom. Convicted. Like that's a high trust society, man. And we, of course, and what do we do in our society in school? We teach kids all about revolution and protest and all this stuff. We don't teach them, like we've abandoned Christian morality. We don't teach Christianity anymore. And we've let the communists inundate all of the schools and teach. You ever see that Yuri Bezmenov lecture? You guys ever see that about how to demoralize a society over the course of 2 decades? And that's more or less what has happened. It's crazy to watch that now, you know, given the context of we have an actual color revolution going on in Minneapolis. Yeah, it's crazy. I like Pringles, just not that much. Just like, yeah, I do. I wonder if you could buy people out of their vote, like one-time cash payment and never vote again. Just a hypothetical. Yeah, it's very libertarian of you. Can you sell your vote? Kind of like, can you sell yourself into slavery? It's one of those like moral questions. There are employee-less stores where you can pick up what you want and pay with your phone. That is fucking crazy. We can't even imagine that here. Like in Vegas, like I go to Walmart and fucking everything's locked up. Well, everything except sunscreen. Sunscreen, for some reason, is out in the open. I wonder why no one's stealing the sunscreen. That's weird. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Fuck you guys! He spits on home. He spits on, I think that's spit on Vigo and then kicks it. And it's like, so that's a significant escalation. And it seems like that's the point where he's like, all right, asshole. And that's the same big guy he was cussing at before. So I'm guessing Big Homie was pissed at him already. And he just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And this is what happens. Like, I don't know any of you little guys out there like me, if you've had the experience of pushing a big guy one step too far and he just says, all right, asshole, let's teach you a lesson. I don't know if you've ever had that happen to you, but that looks like that's what happened here. And look, I'm not saying I agree with you. Cops should have more emotional discipline than this. I agree with you. But let's also agree that human nature is a thing. All right. And let's be realistic about what human nature is. If you're fucking with a dude who's that much bigger than you and you fuck with him over and over and over and over again, and an ass kicking stems from that, it is mostly your own fault. Let's just be honest about that. Let's be honest about that. We can say at the same time, yes, our cops should, and let's just ICE agents, cops, whatever. I'm putting them all in the same category. I know there's a distinction between federal immigration enforcement and beat cops, but really what we're talking about is armed agents of the state. And by state, I don't mean the state of Minnesota. I mean state with the capital S, the government that monopolizes force that we, the people, have empowered to enforce laws on our behalf using legalized force. If you antagonize that dude enough, eventually you might receive some force. Just be real. We want those guys to be super disciplined and button up, superhuman discipline. Absolutely. That'd be great. But let's also be realistic about how annoying this guy was being. Anyway, let's see. I mean, you see what they do to people who come over there disturbing the peace. Johnny Somali, they just sent the Yakuza after you. Yeah, the people, Japan does not have the same tolerance for bullshit that we do. They have the same tolerance for immigrants coming in and causing trouble that we do. And nobody calls them racist for doing that. It's just like, oh yeah, they're allowed to run their country however they want. It's only in places like America and England for some reason that it's insisted that we tolerate infinite bullshit from immigrants. Let's see, no one's stealing sunscreen or Father's Day cards. Yeah, very good. Excellent noticing. Excellent noticing, Strider. You see the chart, the more you fuck around, the more you find out. Exactly. This is like, and look, at the end of the day, look, they're using non-lethal force on him. It's a huge bummer. Yeah, it's a huge bummer. We don't love it, but you know, it is what happens when you do that. Let's see. There's another thing I wanted to show you guys. Okay, so this is, I don't know who this chick is, but she's some internet person. I'll pull it up now, but do not like I wanted to pull this up because this makes a point that I've been making for a while about something that's going on here. And I wanted to bring this up.
Women do not like to see people penalized. And
women do not like to see people penalized. This is kind of what we were talking about earlier, that a lot of this shit is being driven by hysterical women. And it's not all women, and it's not only women, as evidenced by the fact that you have, obviously that guy was very much a man getting his ass beat. But yeah, but this is very much being driven by hysterical women. So and if you look at a lot of the videos we're seeing online of all the crazy retards talking about stuff, it's mostly women. It's not universally women, but the men who are involved are definitely effeminate and they're appropriating feminine norms. Go ahead.
They are the ones that are absolutely fueling this entire thing. I wanted to go over it, and I'll pull it up now just because I was going to do it later, but we'll pull it up now. We have this happened in 2006, right?
Yeah, brain scans reveal men's pleasure and revenge, which is a very, very loaded way of presenting the information. She actually explains it pretty well, so I'm going to let her get into it.
Right? The brain scans reveal men's pleasure and revenge.
I love this first line. A lust for vengeance may be hardwired into male brains. A lust for vengeance is how. Look at what they're calling a lust for vengeance. Anyway, go ahead.
You could tell a feminist wrote this, right? But that's not really what the experiment says. So they did like a game, and they repeated play game, and later they hooked the participants up and like to have their, like an MRI machine, to have the brain scanned. And when they would penalize people who played fairly, both men and women showed empathy. The empathy receptors in the brain went off. When they did somebody who cheated, men didn't really have that much empathy for those being like, oh, they were shocked with electrical impulses. They didn't have any, like, a ton of empathy for that. They almost had a little pleasure in the fact that they were getting punished. But women, their empathy response almost didn't change. They were as empathetic for the people who played fairly being punished as they were for the people that cheated being punished. And that's kind of what we're seeing broadly. Like,
yeah, so they had basically, so to run that back, the women had just as much. So people played a game. The people who cheated got punished, and the people who played fairly got punished. And women had the same amount of empathy for people who got punished, whether or not they cheated or played fairly. Men thought people who played fairly, they felt bad for those people getting punished. But the people who cheated getting punished, the men were like, fuck around, find out. people, and see, that's what is kind of happening here. Go ahead.
What I really want to focus on that I don't see a ton of people talking about is that women are the people that are fueling this entire thing. And I have people saying to me that, it is 100% like these big funders and the backers and the NGOs and all these like globalist world order people throwing money. That's fine. They can throw as much money as they want into it. But if you don't have these crazy women on TikTok literally like crying and being insane and calling for, like this nurse we're going to talk about later, calling for people to be, like ICE agents to be injected with things. We saw it in a different case earlier in the year where a healthcare worker said she was going to not take care of MAGA people. I mean, if you don't have these women doing this, there is no fuel. Women are 100% the gasoline thrown on the fire to keep this going. And we need to fix that.
Yeah, that's another thing that Orwell talked about this, how we were the most enthusiastic adherents and promoters of the party line. And you look at like most of these people in the street that are presenting stuff or they're like out protesting are hysterical women. And most of the people who are posting crazy shit online are hysterical women. I actually want to go through this video is, let's see, is this? Yeah. Yeah, this video is actually a really good compilation of leftist retards talking about this stuff. Shout out to this creator. I don't know who he is, but he's a cool guy and he posts cool shit. So I'm gonna steal some of his shit right here, and we're gonna go over some of these reaction, because it's not just the people in the street. There's also the people who are posting on social media that are contributing to this like toxic atmosphere and causing people to get riled up. And as you can see, it's clearly people who have a zero relationship with physical reality who are being the most aggressive on social media. These are the people who would last for the shortest amount of time if they ever did get into a physical confrontation. Like if somebody ever actually punched one of these people, they would fold like a half-empty sack of potatoes. They would go down like a slinky down the stairs, like a whore on Quaaludes. They'd be down. But they don't realize that because they are completely fiction-brained. Go ahead.
I hope you're not waiting for them to announce that the war started, because it has.
Leftists are blocking people from taking their kids to kindergarten or going to church. Multiple instances now. One man just tried to ram federal vehicles with his truck. And then these people are posting about how they want to go kamikaze.
I say we make them literally shoot all of us.
The Signal group chats that are organizing people and dispersing training literature are literally ran by elected officials in the state of Minnesota.
Crazy.
State Representative Brad Tabke.
Crazy. That's a representative.
Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan is
What's crazy, we brought her up on the show before. We were talking about the Somali thing. She was the Minnesota government official who came out with a bunch of Somalians, and she was wearing like the headdress or whatever. And she's like, "I welcome our Somali friends." And it's like, what the fuck, dude?
in there. Walz campaign strategist Amanda Kohler.
Tim Walz campaign strategist. Guys, this is coordinated by the state government. This is not like an organic protest of people who just felt really strongly. It's a coordinated resistance effort by the state government. That's why it's happening in this one place and not anywhere else. Even though a third of the deportations are happening in Texas, a full third of ICE deportations happen in Texas alone. And we have no fucking problems in Texas. Why all these problems in Minnesota when it's no fucking nowhere near the Mexican border? Why are all these problems here? Because state government, it's not just that state government and local government are not cooperating. It's not just local law enforcement is not cooperating. Until recently they were. This is a coordinated effort by the state government to resist the feds.
These people are riling leftists up and telling them to go interfere with law enforcement to try to de-arrest people and to carry weapons and put their bodies on the line to stop this.
And remember, women are particularly susceptible to this message. They're particularly susceptible because they don't have the ability to see deportations as like just punishment for wrongdoing. Like everything is an infant. They feel infinite. They feel infinity bad for everything because their mind state, their way of viewing the world as sort of this nice, friendly place where everybody has to be nice, keep their hands to themselves, and everybody shares. That works in a kindergarten. That doesn't work in a society. Go ahead.
We need to go to DC. There's no more protesting. This is combat now. So
we have no amendments. We have no constitution.
When combat starts, we all roll initiative.
Oh, fuck, dude. That when combat starts, we all roll initiative guy is my... Oh, God, what a fucking retard. You notice the men who are getting swept up in this are like all like low testosterone men who've never been in a fist fight before. By the way, for those of you that don't know, roll initiative is something you do at the beginning of combat in Dungeons and Dragons. You roll, and whoever has the highest number goes first. It determines combat order based on how high you roll. So yeah, this is what I mean by like completely fucking fiction brained. Completely fiction brained, no relationship to reality at all. Like if they actually like read any serious history or studied warfare, studied combat, or studied any kind of revolutions or anything, you would understand the kind of horrific violence that usually accompanies something like that. And you would be very reluctant to have that happen in your country during your lifetime. Also, you would know that the people who start the revolution are never the people who are on top of the pile at the end. The revolutionaries get cold. Let's see. Let's look at the chat here. Not every ass beating fall drops out of the sky. Sun Tzu. That's right. That's right. Oh, I think my wife just found the perfect house in Pahrump. I might be moving to the Vegas area. That's awesome, Weasel. Very cool. Love to see you around. They did send the Yakuza after Johnny. They deported him. Yakuza basically don't exist due to RICO laws on steroids. They can't even legally have a bank account. Yeah, Japan's like law enforcement is like pretty primo. I mean, that's why it's so nice there. And they just kick people the fuck out of their country when they fuck around. So, God, this is obnoxious. The screaming is damn demonic. Yeah, dude. Women overwhelmingly voted for the Nazis in growing numbers every election. Yeah, it's because like whatever the status, women are just pro status quo in general. And what this propaganda has done is convince them that the status quo is, and it's weird. I don't think it's a coincidence that all the young adult fiction for young women has been about dystopias, all this like dystopian fiction. I don't think that was a coincidence. Yeah, dystopian fiction that has no relationship to reality. And not like if we wanted a population that knew a lot of stuff about history, we could do that. We could create, and that has not been what they prioritize. We have a bunch of people who are like, our country has a proud history of protest and rebellion and overthrowing the government. And it's like, bro, what the fuck? How are you going to build a stable society if everybody's a fucking revolutionary? How are you going to have like social stability? You know? That guy doesn't represent the real D&D nerds. We're not all like that. No, that's true. I agree. All the D&D people I play with are based. Keep D&D out of your mouth, pussy. Why do the revolutionaries get cold? Yeah, because I'll tell you, this is important point is like revolutionary is just gonna revolutionary. Like the skills you need to start a revolution are not the skills you need to rule. And the people who are ruling are the people who are they're riling up the revolutionaries. And as soon as those people are no longer, first of all, they do not care if they die. The people who are stirring these people up do not care if they die. In fact, they want them to die. They want bad use of force incidents so that they can use it for propaganda. They do not care if these people die. In fact, that's a desirable outcome. Second, like the people who are stirring them up are the people who want to rule at the end, but they just want these people, the losers, to go into the street and be their foot soldiers so they don't have to do it themselves. And they've completely lost, young men. So all they've got is like young women and like retarded leftist millennial men, just leftover men who've done nothing with their lives. That's what they've got. And this video is particularly retarded. Go ahead.
people have been asking, when's the time? After today. The song has been sung.
Oh my God, what a retard.
It's time.
You know what's crazy?
Listen, all the Elon Trump stuff.
Okay, by the way, Alpha Omega, you talked about like black nerds before, or black like hipster dorks being the only black people who are supporting this. Is this kind of what you were talking about? Because that's kind of what I was thinking.
It's getting to a point, man. But somebody's going to have to just throw their life away.
What do you think it does to people when they're not only incentivized to go out and bring weapons and go impede arrests and mess with law enforcement, but they're told that they're going to be killed anyways? They need to go kamikaze, basically throw their life away for this cause. They're going to do that.
Yeah, like that's the thing is like a lot of people, especially like retarded women who don't have anything going on and don't have any children, they're going to hear that and they're going to believe it. They're going to get their emotions all twisted up and they're going to go believe it. Same with like retarded men. Obviously, there's plenty of retarded men in there. So I'm not just picking on women. It is mostly women who are caught up in this, but but it is, you know, it's mostly women, but there's retarded men in there too. But these are people who just like don't have any real attachment to reality. They're just like fiction brained. And they're going to hear that and they're going to be like, oh, the Nazis are here. It's time to go throw my life away. Oh, I guess I better go do that. No, you fucking retard. No, you fucking retard. Don't do that. Please, for the love of fuck, don't do that. And look, if one of you guys wants to go, especially you young guys, if you look at that ICE paycheck and you're like, hey, you know, that's a fat signing bonus and you want to go serve your country, God bless you. But don't go pull a Rittenhouse and go out in the fucking street with a gun. It worked out for him, but it's not going to work out for you. There's a strong likelihood that the communist forces that be are going to try to crush you. You know, and also that plays into their hands. So if you want to go, like, look, if you want to go be an ICE agent, or you want to go join federal law enforcement, you know, more power to you, especially if you're a young guy and you're like, that looks like a lot of money to you, go for it, man. It's an honorable way to earn a living. But you got to deal with the fact a lot of people are going to hate you, but like, don't fucking like being in the street and trying to do shit yourself is the most retarded possible way to do this. So I cannot in strong enough terms discourage you. Do not run your car into federal law enforcement. Do not go try to start a fight with federal law enforcement or state law enforcement or anybody with a gun. Actually, in fact, just like if you're going to start a fight, do it in the context, if you want to fight, go to a boxing gym, go to an MMA gym, go to a jiu-jitsu gym and sign up for some kind of something and have homies there beat you up. And then you'll actually learn something and you won't die. I do highly recommend that. Go out, do that. If you want to go shoot something, you know, purchase yourself a legal firearm and go out to your local gun club, join up and talk to the old timers and the gray hairs there and learn as much as you can about firearms and learn how to use your firearm effectively if you want to do that so badly. Do not fucking go out in the street and LARP like you're in fucking, you know, Harry Potter, the Hunger Games or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. And holy shit, I never thought about YA dystopian fiction being deliberate. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder about that, man, because so many of these, I'm watching so many of these videos. My algorithm is fucked. It's all women talking about fucking being revolutionaries now. So, because my algorithm thinks that I'm like a leftist feminist because I keep like interacting with all those videos because I save them for every piece of leftist propaganda or feminist bullshit or whatever. I save it so I can use it for the show. So that's all my algorithm sends me now. It's like Instagram is all like Nick Fuentes and like white nationalism and fucking clavicular or whatever. And then Facebook and is all this. And then Twitter is like all leftist propaganda, but presented by right-wing accounts. So that's like my algorithm's fucked. But yeah, everything I see is just people talking about, we've read so much dystopian fiction. We know what a dystopia looks like. The dystopia is here. And I'm like, oh, fuck, they have read a lot of dystopian fiction. They made movies out of all those books. I wonder if that shit was a coincidence. Huh. Now we know that the publishing industry is like control, and now it's just pure slop because all the books are porn. Some of it's like dystopia porn, but it's like fantasy porn, dragon porn, mafia boss porn, but it's all slop to keep you distracted, to dull your senses, to keep you. Because here's the thing, and this is a little bit hippy dippy spiritual, so roll with me on this. in order to think about higher level things, you have to kind of be able to go to your animal urges and be like, hey, homie, take a back seat. I need, Buddhism talks about releasing yourself from attachment to your urges, and Christianity, certainly Catholicism, which is the tradition I come from, we have to say no to ourselves a lot. Basically, everything fun is not allowed, and if you do it, you're supposed to feel guilty. That's a very low resolution way of describing it. But the reason you train yourself to say no and have discipline and say no to yourself is so that you can think about more important stuff. It's like, all right, I'm really horny right now, but I'm not going to think about that. I'm going to push that. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to focus on the more important shit that has to be done. And in order to think about important shit, you have to be able to set down your horny, your gluttony, your, whatever other dumb impulsive human bullshit, all your regular shitty human desires that are counterproductive to your well-being. You have to be able to set those aside in order to think about important shit like, hey, what kind of society should we live in? You got to kind of be able to have some mastery over your thoughts and point them in the right direction and dedicate focused effort on that. So if I can keep you constantly in a state of horny, satisfy horny. If I can keep you stuck in that loop by feeding you a bunch of porn books and a bunch of porn on your phone, on-demand porn on your phone, if I can keep you in the hedonic treadmill or infinitely on the goon loop, infinite goon looping, right? Just constantly gooning, then you're not going to be able to use the part of your brain that thinks about whether or not you live in a just society. You're not going to be able to question what I'm doing because you're stuck in goon mode. This is what I'm saying. That's why I say to you guys, and I know this is like my most unpopular take, but you really have to stop with the porn. You really have to stop watching highly sexual content. You have to stop bombarding your brain with sexual images, because that is slop that's designed to dull your senses and get you to not pay attention to the shit you need to pay attention to. It's designed to make you weak and useless. And it's designed to erode your ability to think critically. And I'm sorry, I know, I used to be the world's biggest gooner. I love gooning as much as the next guy. I love being rabidly promiscuous. It was like my favorite thing for like a good 3 to 5 year stretch. That was like the main thing I was doing with my life, was being like rabidly promiscuous. And I know me coming out here and being like, stop gooning, embrace Christian celibacy, is like I'm coming out of the old country buffet and I got like mashed potatoes spilled down my shirt and like pumpkin pie on my face. And I'm like, there's nothing good in there, guys. Don't even look. You wouldn't like it. I know. I hear that. But I am telling you from experience, like the purpose of turning you into a gooner is to make you retarded and to drive down your testosterone levels and take away your ability to think, take away your like masculine drive. And for women, it's just like, as you know from interacting with them, turning them all into, well, let me ask you, when you talk to women and all they want to talk about is their fucking porn books and their gooning and how they're on OnlyFans, and they're all like publicly talking about gooning and all the weird horny shit they're into. And like a lot of them have OnlyFans or whatever, and they post pictures of their butt cheeks on their Instagram. How does that make you feel about them? Does that make you respect them? Does that make you think highly of them? Because I guarantee you, like, they feel the same way about you. Like with your fucking, like every man you know, no matter how fucking legit they is, have spent time sitting on the toilet, looking at a phone and doing this. That's not men at their best. And the fucking powerful people that want to destroy you on purpose, they know that. And that's why they're feeding it to you. So I don't know. So that's how I feel about the gooning shit. And I'm starting to wonder if like the dystopian fiction fad that happened for young adults around the millennial and Gen Z generation, like they've all read just a shit ton of like dystopia. Everything was dystopian fiction there for a while. And I am wondering if that was... I'm starting to think that like nothing in the media is there by accident. Like whoever is setting the agendas is doing it on purpose because they want to influence the population. Because media is such a powerful tool. Social media is incredibly powerful. Let's see. They're always LARPing. They're not pirates, and Pirates of the Caribbean isn't real. Yeah. OMG, these people are using anti-tyrannical pop culture to impose tyrannical rule over people they deem lesser, like the Pirates song having completely missed the script. Yeah, dude. Bingo. That's right. It's like they want it. They're just, that's why I have 2 YouTube accounts. Based. It's like but they're not like, are we the baddies? Like, they're never for a second asking themselves if they might be the bad guys in this situation. They're so confident that they're on the right side of history. And I'm telling you, every retarded communist revolutionary, they thought for sure they were the good guys and they were going to bring about the communist utopia. Even the French Revolution, before communism was an idea, they still had revolutions that were motivated by human envy. And don't get me wrong, like, the French proletariat had reasons to be resentful of the ruling class, for sure. Not gonna pretend like they didn't have good reasons. But envy cannot be the animating spirit that brings about a just society. Envy won't do that. Sorry. Yeah, notice these retards will use fiction to demonstrate their points and stir up their fellow idiots, never reality. Yeah, they're not like, hey, there's a historical parallel that matches what we're doing and it turned out super well, because there isn't one. All the historical parallels to what they're doing, all the people who are doing what they're doing right now all died. And by the way, in dystopian fiction, it's not like that. Okay, in Hunger Games, I don't know what happens to Katniss at the end in Hunger Games, but in the real world, she's put in front of the wall. She's shot by a firing squad in a real revolution. Same with like Harry Potter and his like underground, like he would have been shot, or wanded or whatever they do. Yeah, all this, I mean, I'm not super familiar with all like the dystopia fiction, but yeah, like I assume that your main character who leads the revolution also becomes one of the leaders at the end of the revolution. But that's not what happens. They get shot because the people who instigated the revolution for their own selfish means don't have further need of revolutionaries. Because they are going to defeat the Yahtzees by passionately boating them or something. Hilarious. So does that mean we're all gonna be in the Maze Runner suit according to these people? Yeah, probably. They're probably using Maze Runner. I'm thinking particularly, these are the ones I know about: Maze Runner, Divergent, Hunger Games. Those are the main YA series that I'm thinking of, but there are more. And like, remember, like a lot of these women who are like millennials and Gen Z before they all got like addicted to porn books, it was all like dystopian fiction, that was super popular. Hunger Games meets Divergent, according to them. Yeah, for real. Hunger Games meets Divergent. That's about right. Ours, I don't know what you're telling ours is a clip, Normie, but I'm assuming it's unflattering. We'll find out. Ours we'll get something from him. Man, yeah. Let's see what else we got. I have some more clips I wanted to go over. Yeah. Let's see. This is like, what's crazy is that it's like normie leftist too. It's like not like, this is from a very normie show. We've talked about Scott Galloway on this show before, but Scott Galloway is like a very normie liberal, and this is a show with some other normie liberal, and this is what normie liberals are saying. Go ahead.
And I would last like to call out Stephen Miller, who is in the center of this. We always focus on Trump, as we often focus on the top people. But Stephen Miller, like a man named Ben Detson, he was the one who created the internment camps for Japanese. Heinrich Himmler
Oh, so she's comparing Stephen Miller to Heinrich Himmler. That's important. Okay.
In the Nazi regime. This is what he is. And he of course, Trump gets most of the blame, being at the top, but people like Stephen Miller will go down in history as evil, had blood on his hands, and should be jailed at the very end of this. And you're absolutely right. I do want to make one more point. And I would last like to call.
So if you are a normie, think about that for a second. So you are a normie leftist, right? And you hear somebody say that Stephen Miller is Heinrich Himmler. First of all, what does that make Donald Trump, right? That makes Donald Trump Adolf Hitler, right? So this is a normie leftist podcast. This is not extreme. This is not a podcaster. This is a podcast, but this is not like an extremist. It's not a TikToker. What I mean, this is not some like weirdo with like a fringe account. This is a podcast that gets hundreds of thousands of views. It's totally like normie centrists, leftists. I don't know which podcast this is in particular. Scott Calloway does a lot of them, but his main thing is like, I'm like a moderate, normal guy, right? So like the moderate, normal lefty podcast is strongly insinuating that Trump is Hitler and Stephen Miller is Himmler. So if that's where we're at, like at some point we gotta like take these people serious. Like these revolutionaries genuinely believe that they are at war with the Nazis. Like they actually believe it. And it's not just like, again, and this is not like a fringe TikToker position. Hold on. I want to show you guys this because this is this is remember the Breaking Bad guy, Juan Carlo Esposito. He played that villain in Breaking Bad that everybody liked so much. Anyway, I'm about to, if you're a Breaking Bad fan, I'm sorry. I'm about to show you some very, very disappointing footage of what this guy's politics are. Go ahead, buddy.
This is time for a revolution.
Time for a revolution.
And they don't even know that's what they're starting. You know, some very rich old white men are exerting their power to suppress our own people, thus creating a feeling of civil war.
Now, to his credit, he's not a woman. And I have been shitting on women a lot, okay? So I have been shitting on women a lot during the show, but never let it be said of me that I don't shit on men for being gay and retarded. Never let it be said of me that I only talk about how women are retarded. I'm also shitting on gay retarded men. So clip that for a change. Yeah. Clip that for a change. For once, give me credit. I don't just shit on women here. This is an equal opportunity. Not equal, but we dish it out. Go ahead.
In the streets, preparing the haters to hate, teaching them how to shoot. They're not even trained right, to kill. This is all a preparation for a very insidious problem that's happening in our world. And for me, I have to speak out that we will not be iced out. This is not going to happen. They can't take us all down.
Oh, I get it. Iced out. It's a pun. Do you guys get it? Very cool.
If the whole world showed up on Putin's doorstep or on the Iranians' doorstep or in Washington, it would stop. They'll kill 550 million, however, but the rest of us would survive with a new.
Yeah, a bunch of other people will die, but things will be better for me. How brave. How noble this oppressed multimillionaire is. Wow. Stunning and brave. Wow. Wow.
It's time for a revolution. It's time for it. And they don't even know that's what they're starting. But we have to be strong enough to know that we can change the world. We have to change it from within. So if I'm spiritually ready and right, and I'm ready to understand other people and to agree to disagree with them and say, okay, let's find the solution together, then that starts to change things. Not by deporting immigrants, not by killing brown and even white people on the street. It's crossing over now, and believe me, this is gonna really spark the nature of so many people who are gonna show up and say, no more. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take it anymore.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so that's again, people are just completely retarded, just fundamentally unserious people. I wanted to show this one because this is other people. This is what I mean. So that's a celebrity. First of all, let's look at the chat. Let's see. Esposito was the main villain of the newest Far Cry, where the whole theme of the game was how violent, terrible regime changes are and that they don't often bring peace. What a retard. Exactly. Theo Snodgrass, equal opportunity shitter. Yes, that's right. I am an equal opportunity shitter, everybody. Nothing more aggravating to me than a celebrity who thinks they're oppressed when they make millions of dollars and own 2 mansions. Yeah, dude. Dude, what the fuck are you thinking? You think during the revolution, you're not going to get your shit kicked in? who, as an actor, his memorization of all the buzzwords is a tribute to his craft. Yeah. Well, but the thing is, the buzzwords are not going to protect him from the people who just like want to steal his stuff. You know, and once social order breaks down, like, how are you going to hold on to your stuff? Nearly all these celebrities would take the mark of the beast if the Antichrist showed up tomorrow. Absolutely, dude. This is crazy. Like, listen to this woman, by the way. I wanted to spend some time on this. We're coming to the end of the second hour here. Sponsor this half hour. Leftist cleavage, everybody. Leftist cleavage. Do you ever meet a girl with a nose ring who has incredible cleavage? Leftist cleavage. All right. This one is, watch her. The reason I've set this video side is she is jumping through hoops to try to make her worldview make sense after white people got shot. So she doesn't understand, like, her view of how white supremacy rules everything doesn't make sense anymore to her because white people are getting shot, and she's going to twist herself into a pretzel trying to figure it out. It's a 3-minute video. We're going to go on this little journey with her. Go ahead, sweetheart.
They did it. They did it. They murked a white man, lawfully gun-owning American citizen. Everything they claim to protect.
Right. Okay. So that's important right there. Everything they claim to protect. So a lawful white man, lawful gun-owning white male American citizen. That's everything she thinks they protect. That from her worldview, this is all a system that prioritizes the safety, security, and comfort of white men. That's her worldview. And that doesn't make sense now because they shot a guy. She doesn't understand that, like, because now it's starting to look like a system that treats you differently based on your individual behavior. And that doesn't make sense because from her, everything is racial groups. This is so important. By the way, Nate, saggy tits friend of the chat. Nate, okay, these tits are not saggy. She's just not wearing a bra. That's what tits look like when you're not wearing a bra. By the way, not wearing a bra, friend of the channel. Sponsor this half hour, not wearing a bra. All right, go ahead. I hope I actually do get sponsorships at some point. Here's the thing. One thing I want to say, guys, is you're here. The vibes of this show are never going to be better. This is the best this show is ever going to be. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm not doing it. There's no money tied up to it. I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it to do it. I'm doing it for love of the game. I'm using it to test out like stand-up that I'm going to do on the road that actually does make money. The show doesn't really make any money. Like, I mean, we get the Stream Elements tip jar, which is, by the way, Stream Elements tip jar. We are doing a collection to get a Candace Owens body pillow. So if you want to donate to that, please donate to the Stream Elements tip jar. That's in the description. Tag it Candace Owens body pillow, or tag it body pillow or Candace Owens or whatever. Just tag it. Indicate that you want the money to go to the body pillow. It will go to the body pillow. Anyway, moral of the story, the vibes of the show are never going to be better because I'm doing it for the love of the game and I don't have any sponsors and I don't have any ad reads. So there's nothing controlling my voice. I'm just saying what I think is funny and what I think is interesting, and nobody in the audience is retarded. So everybody in the audience is cool and enjoys what I'm doing. And so once the audience gets bigger, eventually it's going to get retarded. Once there's sponsorships, there's going to be limits on what I could say. There's, you know, and then once like money is involved, then I'm going to feel obligated to do it, which I don't feel now. So the vibes of the show are as good as they're ever going to be. So let's all enjoy this time together because it's never going to be better than this. All right, go ahead. And then is this after unhinged ranting, how could one reach out for a sponsorship spot? Yeah, I do. Honestly, I do want to sell something on this show. Not wearing a bra, friend of the channel. That's so if Not Wearing a Bra wants to buy a sponsorship ad, that would be fucking great. I would honestly, I don't know what I would sell on this channel. Peach Celsius, that's a product I endorse. So if you want Peach Vibe Celsius, I will sell that on this channel. Red Bull Zero, another product I endorse. Let's see. Oh, conditioner. I would sell like shampoo and conditioner. That might actually work. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, let's get into this video because she's just going to spin herself into circles right? Trying to justify how her worldview that white supremacy runs everything makes sense.
The identities that they uplift in order to oppress other people, the people who look like them that they want to keep and prop up as oppressors, as the ultimate benefactors of white patriarchal privilege. They just murked them. What does that mean, Todd?
So what does that mean? Great question. Now, it means a couple of things. One, it could mean that your view that the whole world runs on some kind of white supremacist power structure, which exists to privilege whites at the expense of blacks, is simplistic and wrong. And that you've been fed propaganda on purpose to make you retarded and to have you develop a self-defeating philosophy that you internalize deeply, which causes you to never again have any agency, never again strive, never again take ownership of your own life outcomes. And basically that would be the only way that your life will ever get better. So it could be that you were fed this propaganda so that you could obsess about things that are outside of your control and develop deep racial resentment, which is going to make you more supportive of violent regime change. That could be. Do you think that's the conclusion she's going to come to? Let's find out. Oh, man. What were we talking about?
All right. Have officially shifted. And that's not to mean that violence has not existed. That does not mean that. But the tides have officially shifted because what they're showing us and telling us is that white supremacy, whiteness, white patriarchal bullshit is so fucking fake. It's so fake that even the people that are born into this natural.
This is such a frustrating video because she's so close to having a realization here. She's so close. She's so close to realizing that this is like not, that her worldview is like not based in reality, that this is actually like not how the world works, that her worldview is like overly simplistic and like racially obsessed in a way that's not productive or accurate. She is this fucking close to figuring it out, but she can't quite get there.
Into this can be marked if they don't want to uplift it. That there's a caveat to being protected. You have to not just be born into this. You have to subscribe to this belief so much so that you allow us to do it, or we will get you to that.
Yeah, what's crazy is that's the way leftists operate, is liberals get the bullet too, remember. Remember, leftists eat their own. You have to subscribe to all of leftist doctrine. And if you have even one single heretical belief, then you can be killed for that. Or at least socially isolated. I think cancellation is like a test run for execution. You know, so that's actually how leftists work. That's not how like white patriarchal supremacy or whatever works, but that is how being a leftist works. And again, remember, everything the leftists accuse you of is what they themselves are doing. Always. That's the golden rule of leftist projection. It never to be contradicted. Every time a leftist accuses you of doing something, that's what they themselves are doing. Oh, man. Nice tits, though.
Is when a tide shifts, when the society, a country visually sees that the people that this society is saying is a protected class naturally.
By the way, the protected classes naturally are all the minority classes. They're literally, there's a carve out in law called protected classes. And it's like black people, women, basically like ethnic minorities, the elderly to a certain degree have certain protections. It's actually just like white dudes that are not a protected class. For real. The disabled are a protected class. So literally she's talking about white people as a protected class when they're explicitly not a protected class. And she herself actually is a protected class in terms of how the law describes it. The word protected class comes from civil rights law. So literally the thing she's describing is herself. This is like literally leftist projection. Weasel making a good point. The inability to ever stop and ask themselves if what they are saying is subconscious confession never crosses their mind. They don't have that kind of self-awareness, dude. They really don't. And I wonder if it's like, I think they just get locked in like a childlike state of development where it's all like, gimme, gimme, gimme. or they get locked in this. There is a state of enlightenment that's like not perfect enlightenment. It's like you've seen the bell curve meme where there's the idiot, the midwit, and the super enlightened Chad, right? They get so idiot is people are different and I'm suspicious of foreigners. The midwit position is all people are equal, cultures are just different. And then the genius position, the Chad wisdom position is different cultures are different and some of them are my enemies who would wipe me out and I need to be careful. I need to deal with them. You know, it's okay to be suspicious of cultures that want to destroy me, you know? And but the midwit position, which a lot of leftists are locked into, is everybody's the same. We're all just different. We could get along and be nice to each other and everything would be good, except for white people are mean. Because remember, the other thing about leftist politics is all of it at baseline is fuck you, dad, right? They're all like saying, fuck you, dad. They don't like any kind of authority. They don't like any kind of rules. They don't like any kind of restrictions. They want to live a boundaryless existence. They want boundaryless sexuality, boundaryless, borderless immigration. They don't want any kind of restrictions on their personal behavior. They don't want any advice on what they should wear. They don't want any of that. They don't want to know what they should eat, what they should weigh. They just want to follow their impulses. And by the way, following your insatiable human impulses is a great way to never have an important thought again for the rest of your life, because you're consuming nothing but slop all the time and it's going to cloud your thinking. And then you're going to be a retard who just parrots whatever bullshit propaganda you've been fed by the phone. Go ahead.
Is not anymore naturally protected. It shows the cognitive dissonance. It shows that the shit is made up and fake. I've been saying for months that this moment in history, this moment in time.
Bro, if she keeps bending over, I'm going to have to DM her. This cleavage furrow is crazy, bro. I'm going to have to DM this chick for real. I could fix her. Chat, do you think I could fix her? W's in the chat if I could fix her.
But the United States of America is white folks' reckoning. It is y'all's reckoning more than anybody else's. More than anybody else's. But you have to.
Yeah, because it's our country. You're a guest here.
Stand 10 toes down. What standing 10 toes down looks like is it might, as terrifying as all this.
Yeah, so I think what she's insinuating there is that she's expecting white people to die so that she could have rights. And no. Respectfully, no. No, thank you. I'm good. I'm straight on that.
It also is making the divide even larger, which means it's making the us even bigger. And folks who are born into a white patriarchal privilege are not protected based off of their morals and ethics and ideologies, and now they're discarded and seen as the other. It makes the us versus them bigger. The us versus them is becoming bigger. As someone who has survived abuse.
Something else is also becoming bigger. Theo about to bust. Listen. Okay, hold on. Hear me out. Listen. I know you guys. Listen, hey. Theo, this is a leftist thirst trap. Don't fall for it, Theo. I'm trying not to. I'm just listen. You guys just don't want me to be happy. You weren't riding with me when I was talking about the spider chick from James and the Giant Peach. You're not riding with me now. And I don't know what you guys want from me. It's like you guys never want me to be happy. Fuck it. I might DM her. Her tag is right there. We'll see how many followers she has. If she has like a small enough number of followers, I might hit her up to get her on the show.
And it'd be a personal abusive relationship. An abuser amps up his abuse the more he feels like he's out of control.
Okay, do you see how she's like going to like retarded relationship psychology? Because retarded relationship psychology is literally the only thing women know, because that's what like TikTok has fed them. Because all this retarded relationship psychology where everything men do is a red flag and a sign of abuse will keep them single forever, which is, by the way, how we know she's definitely single. I should DM her. DMing leftists with great titties, friend of the channel. This is respectfully spider chick. I'm telling you, don't bring up the spider. Dude, that spider chick is hot. I don't care what any of you say, bro. She had me twisted up when I was a kid watching James and the Giant Peach. I'm gonna watch that movie again now, just because you guys are being fucking weird about it. I'm not the weird one here. You guys are weird.
Why it's the most dangerous survivor of victim abuse is leaving. That also means that the abuser is realizing they are losing control. Yes, it could be the most dangerous. Yes, it's the most dangerous. Yes, but the abuser is losing control, and the abuser realizes it, and they're amping up the tactics. The abuser is the United States of America. It doesn't make it any less terrifying. It doesn't make it any less nerve-wracking. It doesn't make it any less new. We've been here before. United States of America been here before, but a lot of us have not been here before.
I like that she's like leading with her tits. I think that is probably like best for everybody. So, Theo, I used to be all about promiscuous. Also, Theo, I can fix her. Listen, we don't know that she wouldn't become Catholic. We don't know that she wouldn't be a babe. I can see her. She's already covering her hair. She's already doing it. I could see her veiling at a Latin mass, couldn't you?
Us is becoming bigger than them. You got to draw a line in the sand, and that line in the sand is getting big and bold. You are either
It's like something else is getting big and bold over here. All right.
there or here. And even if you believe you're there, if they don't see you as there, they're not going to protect you either.
Okay, so obviously all of that was hysterical nonsense, but she's got her tag right there. I might have to DM her. But like that's, again, we're going to do one more of these, and then actually I had a couple more of these I want to do actually, because these are fun. This is a guy. This is not Minneapolis related, but this is the kind of people we're dealing with. This was a Santa Clarita City Council meeting, and I don't know if this is like trolling or what. So we're gonna watch this. This just pulled up. I used to be on the right like you, but I saw the leftist tits on Instagram. Yeah, dude. Look, we're all vulnerable to it. Okay, we're all vulnerable to it. Oh man, she's really unhinged. You know what it is? She had a messy bedroom in the background. So I know her life is just in shambles. All right.
What the fuck are we doing here?
Good question.
Seriously, you have had months to prepare for this upcoming event. I don't give a damn if this is outside of the...
Hold on. Wait, hold on. Yo, this chick looks like she smells like feet and hippie oils. Have standards. What is... I'm not seeing the problem, Iron. What's the problem exactly with that? Bro, hippie chicks need love too. And I am going to give it to them.
Quorum. People are dying on our streets.
Bear in mind, this guy is in a Batman costume. So this is now, again, I don't know if this guy's trolling or not, but assuming he's serious, this is what I mean by our politics is being inundated by fiction-brained retards and childless millennials. This is exactly what I'm talking about here.
Every single day in this country because we allow this federal government to walk all over you. Look me in the eye. Can any one of you go home to your
look me in the Batman mask.
Children and tell them that you did everything you could to protect their classmates, to protect.
They need showers and Jesus. Yeah, I know. I'm about to give them both. That's why I'm inviting them to my house, so they can give them showers and Jesus. Why is he not doing the Christian Bale throat cancer voice? Great question, Nate. Like, you can't do Batman costume and then not change your voice. That's what I'm saying. You got to do a voice change.
Them? I don't think you can.
You got to do a voice
with the exception of Park. Thank you. I am disgusted by each and every one of you, with the exception of Councilmember Park, that you have not done something more. You need to affirm that no city resources will go.
He's just being hysterical and emotional, like and this is fucking Santa Clara, so who even gives a fuck, right? That's in California, by the way, for those of you that don't know. It's like a decent-sized community in California, relatively well-to-do. I don't know what the fuck they've got going on there as far as ICE is concerned, but the way that he's talking is just like hysterical and his voice is wavering. This is what you'd expect to see on like a television show written by some millennial retard. This is not like a serious policy discussion.
To ICE, that no cooperation will be given to them. Because as of right now, I stand in front of a council of cowards.
Yeah, there you go. These are the people who would fire you for killing grandma a couple years back. Yeah, for real. These are the same people that were like, you're literally murdering old people if you don't get the jab. And by the way, he's saying he's standing in front of a council of cowards. He won't give his real name or show his real face. So...
And if you do not act,
like, say what you want about me, I don't have a superhero name. Like, I'm on here with my government name. Like, I've already burned the bridges.
You're not just cowards. You are traitors. traitors to each and every individual you serve. You need to do something.
Okay, I'm done with this retard. Let's see. I want to do which one? Where'd she go? There she is. Okay, we're gonna do this one, and then we're gonna do one more, and we're gonna probably call it a day.
And mindful are out. The fuck up. We're going feral. Well, the liberals have Trump deranged.
Nose ring. Nose ring. Nose ring theory is undefeated, by the way. I stand by that. Never met a girl with a nose ring, a tongue ring, and a father. Remember that.
Syndrome. Yeah, we do.
You got nipple rings. That means her daddy left twice. Go ahead.
I'm not going to sleep until I have made every MAGA in the 3-mile radius cry. We're going to do personal harm upon their psyches. Demure and mindful are out. Resisting while kicking and screaming are in. This channel is now dedicated to making sure they don't get away with a damn thing these next 4 years. They want to fuck around, we're going to make them find out. You thought we were good at confronting MAGA bullshit before the fuck up.
Yeah, so anyway, so she's just like hysterical retards who don't really have any idea. This was cool. This is like a longer shit. That video is too long. But yeah, I wanted to show, this is pretty cool. So this is a journalist, Cam Higbee. He pulled this up. I'm kind of done with these social media retards. Basically what he did is he interfered with one of these, he infiltrated one of these signal chats, right? These chats where they are essentially coordinating the efforts of basically regular ass citizens who are now, I guess, forming the basis of this like organized resistance against ICE. Anyway, so this guy, Cam Higbee, he's a journalist on X. And so he was able to infiltrate this and he's been showing this. I just wanted to play a little bit of this so that we could kind of get a sense of what's going on. Like, this is not just like random shit. People are coordinating. Go ahead.
Yeah, don't engage 316. We're going to let those other 6 cars figure it out.
Dispatch, this is River. That white Wagoneer just went on to 62 East. I'm peeling off.
What is this? Thank you very much, River.
There, northbound on Bloomington currently with people in tow.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Rich.
Is there anywhere that we should head now, dispatch, to be most helpful?
Since you're all the way down there, if you just wanted to kind of take a peek in the Diamond Lake neighborhood, I think that Richfield covers that, but might as well while we're... Is that a plate check?
That is a plate check.
Okay, it is negative.
It is negative.
Do you have a passenger?
What was that?
Do you have a passenger, and what's your handle?
This is PJ. I'm in a car. I am a passenger.
Okay,
this car that
Are you in a Subaru?
Yeah.
We are in
That car in front of you is not ICE. It's our
Of course, they're a fucking Subaru.
friends. Heard. Okay. We just noticed them glowing red, so we just wanted to check. Thank you.
Yeah, so basically they're just like driving around the city and like memorizing plates and like following ICE vehicles and telling people where they need to go pop up. And then people, when there's stuff in their area and they hear about it, they go. And this is not a police radio, by the way. This is like a signal chat where a bunch of people are passing around info and tossing it back and forth.
Yeah.
Round wants to commute with me. That's cool too. Ready to go where you need.
Cool. Mermaid Asher, how would you feel about being stationary at Lake in Chicago for a little bit if you can find a good spot to post up with visibility?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, cool. Let me know when you have a good spot. And
so this is coordinated efforts. This is a coordinated thing, and which means somebody had to like pay for all this shit. You know, and I do think that's the thing is like I would say to, because it's very easy when we look at like how retarded and out of shape these people are. And like when we look at like homegirl that got her hand blown off by the flashbang and all that stuff. Like when we look at these people, it's very easy to get cocky and be like, oh, these people are, you know, clearly terminally retarded. They're actually like too retarded to live. And they're, you know, there's not, you know, no good is gonna, there's no way that they're gonna be able to actually do anything. I don't know if that's true. And the reason I don't know if that's true is because, say what you will about them, is they are incredibly well organized. And it's not just a bunch of like random out of shape leftists who are getting together to oppose ICE. Like there's like top down funding, and there's like clearly, I mean, somebody who knows how to do a color revolution has been working on this for a while. So people have speculated that the intelligence agencies are involved with this somehow. And I think that like might actually be true. It's really like, it's not just the retards we can see. Like the people behind it are serious, and we should take it seriously. Now, one thing I wanted to show you, we'll see. We'll get this video here. It's another one I wanted to pull up. We'll see if there's anything good in this. Basically, this should be a good example. It's kind of a longer video, so we're going to skip around, but there's a lot of good examples of suicidal empathy in this. So we're going to go ahead and watch it.
My message is ICE out.
I don't give a fuck about America. I care about indigenous America.
Should America even exist?
No.
We're here at the ICE out protest in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and this is insane.
Yeah.
There's thousands of people here, many more still coming. And you got all these cars here. They can't even get through. We got to be very careful, because if people realize that we're on the other side of this, there's no police here. And
yeah, shout out to that guy for being brave and like going out there and actually like talking to people. That's crazy.
we can get our faces smashed in, all our gear taken, and maybe much worse. So it's very volatile. It kind of
Let's skip ahead.
No.
never ever.
I disagree with the existence of ICE as it stands.
Let's say somebody comes over here and they commit a crime. Should they be deported?
I think Elon Musk should be deported.
How do you
I
feel
see.
about illegal immigrants taking healthcare services from
No
citizens?
one is illegal on stolen land. That's how I feel.
No one is illegal on stolen land. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, whoa. Let's stop raping and pillaging from the Native Americans.
By the way, there's a furry in the background. So remember, when you see these people, every single one of them is a gooner and a sexual degenerate. There are actually like 0 of them. All of them are like disgusting degenerates. Every single one. That's why. Okay. Remember, when Kyle Rittenhouse went to the Black Lives Matter protest in 2020, 2021, whenever that was, around that time, he shot 3 people and 2 of them were pedophiles. That is a statistical anomaly. That should not be possible, that you're in a crowd, you shoot 3 people and 2 of them are pedophiles. If that's a randomly selected population, that wouldn't happen. So that means that perverts are wildly overrepresented among this group of people. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. By the way, this is why they're so easy to brainwash, is because these are fucking losers and social rejects who have nothing else going on. That's who this type of propaganda and programming is most effective on. Not that they're like necessarily like, you know, some of them are probably decent people who just got swept up in it and they genuinely believe they're doing the right thing. But a lot of the stuff that they're advocating for is just evil, And we can't get around the fact that they think they're at war and they want people who think like you to get shot. Like they really believe that, like deep in their heart of hearts. And even if they wouldn't pull the trigger themselves, if somebody did pull the trigger on somebody like you, dear listener, they would think that was a good thing. They would be happy that it happened. Like that's kind of crazy. We got to keep that in mind. Like these people, say what you will about them, like they genuinely would be happy if someone who thinks like you or me got shot. And that's tough.
Well, that's crazy.
It's crazy to bomb ships and to kill people without a children.
Let's see what else. That's person. So this
So
person is.
do you or do you not
clearly
support
unhinged.
enforcing the southern border?
Do you or do you not support what's happening to Liam right now?
By the way, I'm pro raping and pillaging. I'm pro conquering. If you want to have a country, win next time. If you want to get a holiday, win next time. I'm pro raping and pillaging and conquering. I don't mind. I don't live on stolen land. I live on conquered land. My ancestors came here, stole that shit, took it from you because you failed to defend it. Defend it better next time. Next time you want to enter a conflict, win. History is written by the winners. So be a winner. I'm descended from winners. Are you?
Do you or do you not support killing children?
Why
How about
do
you?
Why can't you answer?
I answered your yes and no questions. You take one of mine.
Yeah. Are you in favor of killing children? That's crazy. By the way, hysterical framing. That's what they genuinely believe is at stake here, by the way. They believe that people who are conservative or who support Donald Trump or support like enforcing the law of the land as far as immigration and the border is concerned, they believe that these people are actually in favor of murdering children. That's you got to remember that when you're dealing with these people.
What do you think about Liam?
I want to talk to
about that 5-year-old boy.
Whoa.
You think he should die?
I don't want any.
You see what I'm saying? That's not a rational argument. All right, we've had fun with this. Person. Let's see who else is here.
Here's about invisible lines.
Should America exist?
Should America exist?
Shit, it's stolen land. I don't know. They weren't supposed to come here in the first place. It's stolen land. I guess the answer is no.
Question.
How do you feel about the fact that your roads are being closed off?
I wanted to hear more from them.
Who cares about invisible lines? Should there be a southern border?
Yeah.
Shit, I don't care if there's a border or not, as long as we're taking care of each other.
Does it matter
You see what I'm saying? Remember what I said earlier about women, the way they think about the world is good for a kindergarten classroom, but bad for a society? This is a perfect example. In a kindergarten classroom, it doesn't matter as long as everybody's getting along and everybody's sharing and people are keeping their hands to themselves. It's fine. But, you know, when you run a country that way, it's not good, because if you have no borders and you do not enforce the borders, you're going to let in people who do not have this shared idea of everybody taking care of each other. The way you ensure that everybody continues to take care of each other is that you have to deal with criminals and violent people and people who commit fraud, and people who come here who do not share your values have to get kicked out. And you have to be selective about who gets to come here so that we can keep the vibes good. It's like if you have a party, right? If I'm having a party at my house, and I invite a bunch of people over, and one of them shits on the floor, and then I try to kick them out, and people are like, no, you can't kick out this guy. No, you can't kick out the floor shitter. It's part of his culture to shit on the floor. And in fact, I think it smells great in here. I love the smell of shit on the floor. I think, you know what? When I was a kid, you couldn't get shit on the floor. You know, it wasn't anywhere to be found. You had to go to a different country to find shit on the floor. But now you can get it right here at home. Isn't it better now that we have shit on the floor? Isn't this party better? Now, I wish there was shit on the floor at my house. Like, that's literally what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with people who are for the sake of social politeness, don't want to reprimand people for shitting on the floor. But enough about Indians. Indians, friend of the channel. All right. Do you believe in killing children? No, I'm actually anti-abortion. Yeah, that's what's crazy is like the people who actually literally support the murder of children in the womb are the ones who want to like get up your ass, because of course they're like of course they're talking about like this narrative that ICE arrested a 5-year-old boy. And again, we already took that apart a couple episodes ago, but these kind of like hysterical stories that are being spun deliberately, apparently nobody learned anything from the police shooting craze that happened during Black Lives Matter. Apparently nobody learned anything from that the media is just flagrantly lying to you about these things. They're just lying to you. Like, they don't give a shit about how well your life goes. They don't give a shit. If you believe their lies and then facilitate their color revolution, they're happy. Like, they don't give a shit if you die. They don't give a shit if it makes your life tangibly worse. They don't care at all.
We're all people?
We're definitely all people.
Okay, well then, who cares about invisible lines?
Okay, because some people don't think the same as you. Like, you think everybody, see, this is the thing, everybody's good and equal. All cultures are just different. And that's like a retarded stage of development. There's a stage of development beyond that where you're like, oh yeah, but some cultures don't believe that. And like, people who come from the third world are dangerous and have third world ideas. They're going to try to bring those ideas here. So we should probably keep them out. That's it. Like that's like, if you want people to like not get raped and scammed, then you need to keep rapers and scammers out. Very simple.
Should America exist?
Should America exist?
Shit, it's stolen land. I don't know. They weren't supposed to come here in the first place. It's stolen land.
Stolen land. We're hearing that a lot here.
So I guess the answer is...
All right, let's see what we're done with these dumb bitches. Let's see what else we got.
Ice out. Ice out.
Yeah.
No matter what.
No matter what.
What if they're trying to get somebody that raped somebody else?
Then they need to get them.
So then how are you going to get them without ICE? How does that work?
Well, there's no need for 3,000 plus agents to be here.
So how many should we have then? What's the number?
A reasonable amount, not 3,000.
What's the number? What's a good number?
I'm not sure. I'm not that sure.
Bro, he's just here to get pussy. This is not a man with strong critical thinking skills.
If we're just having a discussion.
Perfect agency. He's doing
to be here.
Oh, now see, she hears this and she's coming in to interfere.
Okay, because he kind of feels like he's baiting you a little bit.
Wow, do you see how this white woman just jumped in here and just like, how dare this, like, you're assaulting this poor man of color by like asking him questions that require him to do critical thinking. Do you see how she's in here to like help and interfere, and how she's being like an overbearing mother figure? That is the spirit that animates all of these debates, and in fact, all of leftist politics right now. I'm so glad I pulled up this video because that's a perfect fucking example. Go ahead.
Baiting me? He's cool. We're cool.
He is cool, but you're not asking very these are disingenuous
You know,
questions.
I think that's pretty messed up for you to come over here and act like he can't handle himself. We're just having a discussion.
Perfect agency. He's doing great.
So why you act? He's a grown man, and it's two men having a discussion. Why are you acting like we can't just talk? You have to come over here and interfere.
Having a discussion. Yeah, two people can have a discussion.
Yeah, so why are you butting in? We didn't ask you to.
Yeah, iron oxide, virtuous white woman to the rescue. Exactly.
Butt in.
You didn't. You're out here in a public space and you're asking people questions.
I'm just saying it's very condescending.
Is it really?
Oh, it definitely is.
Okay, go ahead and explain that to me some more.
What, the definition of condescending? Well, you're coming over here and you're acting like, oh, you know, are you okay, sir? This is a grown man. I think he should ask you if you're okay, I think. Is there any scenario at all where you would support ICE detaining and removing somebody from the country?
Let's see.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
That's interesting that they keep repeating that. I wonder if that's like a group thing, or if that's something that's like TikTok. I wonder where they got that exactly. I know I've heard people say that before. It's not like a original phrase they invented. I just think it's interesting that a bunch of the people that he's talked to right in a row have all said that same thing. That's interesting to me. I wonder what's going on with that.
I think we should have a border.
No.
No border at all?
You know why? This country was
Why?
founded without borders.
Retards.
Southern people are indigenous people just like us.
Somebody comes over the border and they commit a crime.
How much of this is just like straight up like anti-white resentment?
Should they be sent back to where they came from?
If a European commits a crime, should they be sent back to Europe?
Well, if they came over.
Yeah, deport this guy.
Here, let's say they came from Ireland or something.
But I'm asking you.
No, I know, I'm telling you. Let's say they came over here. Let's say an Irish person flew to Mexico, crossed the border illegally. Would I support them being removed? 120,000%. Just so you're aware. Do you believe in the idea of the nation state, or do you think that nation state should just be dissolved?
Should be dissolved.
All of them.
I don't give a fuck about America. I care about indigenous America.
You would like to see America.
See, they actually like just like. How much of this is just straight up like just not liking white people? You know,
just dissolved and abolished.
It will happen eventually. I'm not saying it's going to happen right now.
Right.
But like any good empire, it will fall.
So what about? Let me ask you this: What about like Mexico? Do you want to see Mexico abolished and destroyed?
This is about America right now.
If the Europeans, if all these white people don't like these native lands, how come they don't go back to Europe?
Is there any situation where you think ICE could deport somebody, or should?
No,
should?
ICE shouldn't exist.
No,
never ever.
Never ever. It's only been around for 23 years.
this is your virtuous male feminist white.
It needs
Go
to get
ahead.
the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean,
It was made as part of
Talking over a woman, by the way. Go ahead.
Post 9/11, like.
By the way, talking over women, based friend of the channel, perhaps even sponsor this half hour, interrupting women before they say something stupid.
It's a post 9/11 organization that should have never been made. It needs to just be done.
What's the significance of the?
By the way, side note: never argue with a man wearing mittens. Just like if an adult man is wearing mittens, just disregard his opinion on whatever it is. Doesn't matter what it is. Just disregard it.
Mexican flag here today.
I'm Mexican.
So you identify as a Mexican first?
Always. It's in my blood.
Were you born?
Okay, go home then. Just what I'm talking about. Like some of this is just like straight up like racial tribalism. Like a lot of this instability is the fact that we like imported a bunch of people who do not consider themselves American and are refusing to assimilate. Like that's a fact. You can get mad at that if you want. But like this is like just, I mean, props to this guy for just like walking around like interviewing people. This is obviously not true of all non-white people. But like, if you're going to come here from another place and refuse to integrate, obviously these white people that are repeating the same fucking talking points are, if anything, I have more contempt for them. You know, I really can't, you know, shit on people for pursuing what they think is in their rational self-interest. But like this, like suicidal empathy that these like leftist whites display is just completely disgusting. Like we got to do something about this. Like, I don't know what it is, man. Oh man, and you know, now of course we got the fucking, I think white pride is making a serious comeback. I mean, I pay a lot of attention to the dissident right. We talk about the dissident right a lot on this channel, but like, yeah, white pride and white nationalism is making a huge comeback. And I think that is the response to this kind of like everybody's splitting up into teams based on race. And a lot of the teams are talking about, hey, fuck white people, this and that. So that's what is ending up happening. It's just the reality is that in response to that, white nationalism is making a comeback. And like, guys, we do not want to be splitting up into teams based on race. That is a really fucking, it's very hard to build a stable society if we're going to play ball like that. Just like, it can be hard to have a stable multicultural society if we're just all going to be different racial groups and we're all going to hate each other. That's going to be very hard for us to get along. I'm just saying, man, like, it's going to be very hard to build a country out of that. So we got to figure this shit out, man, one way or the other. I don't know what the answer is. I'm just like pointing shit out.
Born here?
No.
Do you think that this is stolen land?
Of course. Well, America is made from immigrants. So for the government to try to take the immigrants out is kind of...
America is made from conquerors. America is made from conquerors. You're a guest here.
some bullshit.
Okay. So my question then, if it's stolen land and all that, should America even exist?
No.
Isn't that a little bit disrespectful to the United States to fly a Mexican flag in this country?
Oh, no. If I want to fly an American flag, I gotta fly it. I don't have to and shit.
No, you don't have to do anything, of course. I'm just curious.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. I got amendment rights, born and raised here. I'm also indigenous from this land. So fuck that.
Do you think that this is stolen land?
Oh, come on, man. It's stolen land from the get-go. Columbus didn't land here. That motherfucker got founded. About dying shit, man. My indigenous people from back then fucking just felt sorry for his ass and brought him on in with all the smallpox and shit.
By the way, so if let's say if you were coming from a Christian civilization and you came to a new land and you stumbled on a simple civilization of mongrels that practiced human sacrifice and lived in the ruins of a much greater civilization that had come before them, and you watched them murder people for like amusement, and you watched them like play basketball with a human skull and stuff like that, and you came from a Christian civilization, maybe it would be okay to wipe them out. Like, let's not say you did that. Maybe it would be okay. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Again, history is written by the winners for a reason. And by the way, you're welcome. You're welcome for building this civilization that grants you your amendment rights.
Fuck them.
So does America have a right to exist?
That's right. So he would prefer to answer to the cartels over the police? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They would have a leg to stand on when the white nationalists start saying hello. Yeah, and those guys are not fucking around either. Like, honestly, I think most of the people right now are LARPers. But, like, here's the thing. These people are LARPing right now, but pretty soon they're going to have battlefield experience, and that's going to change them. Okay? And then the white nationalists are going to show up, and I think we can agree a lot of the white nationalists that we're seeing right now are dorks. Or just, like, unfuckable dorks for the most part. But it's not going to be that way forever. Eventually, both of these forces are going to grow in parallel to each other, and they're going to become progressively tougher in response to each other. And that's eventually going to come to a head in the form of violence if we don't find some kind of resolution here. And that is completely by design. That is whoever it is that's like designing this bullshit propaganda narrative that's splitting up our country. This is exactly what they want. They want all the ethnic minorities to band together and have animosity towards whites. And they want whites to have animosity towards ethnic minorities and to band together based on racial interests, because that's a really convenient way to split people apart. That's the goal, I think. And it's becoming like a fight for civilizational survival. Get fucked, bootlicker. Your side would have been the Tories in Boston. Okay. Thank you. Sweet Afton, friend of the channel. And like I said, we don't really do sides here. We're just calling balls and strikes. Anyway, so yeah, leftists are being retarded. So we're just gonna observe that. Welcome to stay and hang out and contribute to the chat. Chat, be nice to Sweet Afton. She seems friendly.
Then if it's all stolen.
America only exists from all immigrants from all over.
No, America's a country of conquerors. You're a guest here. If you want to have a country win next time, I don't know how many times I got to say that. You got to just win. The winners get to have the country. That's how it works. So win next time.
This is not just United States of America. This is United Nations now. They got to deal with it. They can't do shit no more.
What's your message today?
Today's message is ICE out.
That's the only message.
We need they're out.
Should anybody be able to come to America? Anybody?
Yes.
So what's the limit? Should we?
This is your slack-jawed, high estrogen, low testosterone, feminist white dude, and a bunch of Somalis.
Let the whole world come here?
No.
Yes. So not the whole.
Yes.
Yes.
Bow this god on my algorithm. I'll never now know 8 of is total here. I don't know what that means. But thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. Appreciate you coming out. Let's see. United Nations, the old cool conspiracies arise again. Yeah, for real, dude. For real, dude. It's weird because like none of these conspiracies are really like new. This is all like if you read old conspiracy theorist books, this is like this kind of shit they were talking about. So that's legal. I don't know what you're referencing. Anyway, yeah. So
This is America. Yes, let them all.
The whole world, all 8 billion people.
Let them all in.
Then America wouldn't exist.
Everybody,
America wouldn't exist.
Borders, no. Jesus Christ. Okay, well that's the thing is like you can't have a civilization, right? If you're gonna let in people who don't agree with the values of your civilization, right? Bye, dipshit cuck. Goodbye, Sweet Afton. It was very nice meeting you, I guess. All right. All right. Well, that was fun. That was fun, guys. She seems nice. Everybody pray for her. Blessed Mother, Hail Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Yeah, let's look out for Sweet Afton. She's having a tough day, I think, probably. Do you think she subscribed before she left? I hope she did.
How did we get here? How did America get here?
Conquering. That's how every nation that exists currently exists, because of conquering. Because the ancestors conquered a piece of land, said, this is our shit now. Fuck off. Or they drew the borders for somebody else. One of the nations that did conquering, one of the nations that mattered, drew the borders of the other nations. That's what happened.
We let everybody in the 1900s.
Okay, the difference, that's important too. So when we let everyone in, we didn't have a welfare state. So when we had like open immigration, basically people had to come here and it was sink or swim. They either worked or they starved. And the system now, people come in and they can sign up for government benefits. And basically, I think it's like 80% of Somalians don't fucking work at all. Or something like that. Anyway, this is insane about a fraud is crazy. Getting that reappropriated. is and how much of that is like actually like going back to fucking Somalia is wild. Let's see. A smooth brain slipping in and out faster than a mouse to cheese. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and I don't think I said anything particularly provocative. I mean, again, I'm like not like a turbo. I don't consider myself to be a turbo right-wing commentator at all, or like a super like partisan like MAGA hack. I'm just calling balls and strikes here. So I'm just saying what I think. And I've definitely, I mean, you guys have been here when I've said things that were unpopular. It happens. Once again, they all resort to name calling. Can never have a conversation with facts and points till the door hits you on the way out, sweetheart. Yeah, dude. I was like hoping, honestly, I wish we did have more leftists in the chat that I could respond to. It's a huge bummer. I'd be really fucking sick if we had more leftist folks in the chat so we could like have some kind of discourse. The problem is they want to come in and just like insult you, and they want to fight you, and they want to be really aggressive. They don't want to have like a substantive disagreement, but from their perspective, they would say, I'm willing to disagree with you on like what kind of pizza toppings are good or where we should build a bridge. I'm not willing to disagree with you on human rights. And I think that the way they conceptualize human rights is just give me whatever I want forever. And if you say no to me, then you're a Nazi. And it's like, that's a retarded way to conceptualize human rights. Like, not everything is a fucking human right. That doesn't do anything to address the principles of scarcity or how you're going to go about providing those rights or who's responsible for providing them. Like, none of that shit is addressed. And just calling something a human right doesn't deal with the fact that it's might be challenging to actually procure it and give it to people. Like, okay, the idea that like just anybody should come, unlimited people should come here. That works if it's sink or swim and you have to come here. Like, okay, Irish immigrants, they came here and it was like, here, congratulations, you're a citizen. Also, congratulations, you're now you are now a private in the U.S. Army. Now go to the South and fight in the Civil War. Or the Chinese came here. It's like, congratulations, you get to build the railroads now. You are going to like suffer and die building railroads. Like, it's like immigrants were contributing really significantly and they were not getting anything free from the government. Now immigrants come here and they're incentivizing immigrants to come here by giving them access to a bunch of free shit. And they're taking advantage of that. And the other thing is too, the reason they're doing that is because the Democrats are trying to increase their share of the Electoral College, increase their seating in the House of Representatives, increase their voter base, basically, and create a loyal voter base. So it's like, if I'm giving you free shit as long as you continue to vote for me. And that's just like a flagrantly dishonest, like evil strategy that's antithetical to America's interests. And they're trying to like dress it up like it's some like humanitarian crisis. And if you disagree with them, you're a fucking Nazi. And then they're using propaganda to try to initiate a color revolution. So innocent people like Sweetheart, who's here before, Sweet Afton. Literally, she has sweet in her name, guys, and she called me a dipshit cuck. And her name is Sweet Afton. Like, bro. Her sweet is in her name, and she called me a dipshit cuck. So I'm saying, like, yeah, like, thank you, Weasel. Come back and tell us the merits of your position. Thank you, Weasel, for at least engaging. It's like, I appreciate this. I got to do this. I got to do more one-on-one. So I had a feminist on the show a while back, and a lot of people, I was not as good at engaging in the chat at that time. And a lot of people actually brought substantive arguments to the chat, which I appreciate. Some people were very mean. I'm looking at you. Shout out to the 4%. Shout out to the ladies. Y'all were mean as fuck. But the fellas were like trying to bring points to the discussion, which I appreciate. And that's the thing. What's crazy is Sweet Afton. I don't know if she streams or whatever. Probably not. But in Sweet Afton's chat, if I was in there trying to like defend the merits of my position, I know they would call me names. But if she was here, I would actually, if she had a point, I would actually try to engage with it if I understood it. Like, she said something about something is legal. I don't know what the fuck she was talking about, though. So I don't know what that was. I don't know which thing I said that was in reference to. And I know that you guys would actually try to engage with her position as well, which I appreciate. And that's why I'm trying to cultivate like a chat here where we thinkers, people who are like actually putting thought into their position. They're trying to figure things out, because that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure things out. I'm telling you guys, I will speak about the things that I know, but I'm like, for the most part, I'm just trying to figure shit out myself. So
We let everybody in. We don't care.
You don't care?
I don't care. Yes. Yes. I don't care.
Yes, I love these fat Somali bitches. By the way, are there any fat Somali bitches in Somalia? Or is this a uniquely American phenomenon? Did we invent fat Somali bitches? We got to go to Somalia. We got to fund an expedition. Chat, donate to the Stream Elements tip jar. Let's try to get an expedition to Somalia. I'm going to try to find some fat Somalia bitches because I think this is like a uniquely American thing. Let's see. We pay taxes to NGOs that pay people to assist illegals to get every benefit possible from our taxes. That is definitely true. That's like provably true. That's provably true now. And now we're finding out that some of these government funds are getting redirected to probably to, we can't prove this 100%, but we're guessing it's probably going, some of this is going to these signal chats that are funding these protests, funding this organized resistance effort, funding these people who are going out and like fucking with ICE deliberately. Like, I mean, come on, this is like, so we're funding the people who want to destroy us. Oh, Vagabond is here. What's up, buddy? Friend of the channel. Vagabond is here. Most Somali women are normal size. It's just an American thing that they fat. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that like it has to be because it has to be American fast food that's doing this.
So what I'm saying is, if you guys want,
and they just have no fucking impulse control. That's why they're all fat now.
ICE out, right?
God, RIP to Somalian dudes. I'm sorry, guys. We made your women fat.
Okay, if ICE is gone, do you ever support any? So that means you don't want anybody ever to be deported, right?
I believe migration is free and a human right, so no.
Again, that's another thing. Migration is free and a human right. What does human right mean in this context? What does human right mean in this context? Who is going to enforce this right to migration that you claim to have? What does that mean in this context? What does that even mean? That's just, again, migration is a human right. Okay, that sounds nice, but like, does that mean that some entity has an obligation to provide you with migration if you don't have the means to provide it yourself? Like, what does human right mean in this context? You see what I'm saying? Like, if you explore or you try to push on this policy position, like, it actually like doesn't make sense.
So, but my question is,
I believe that every person has a right to migrate, no matter what.
So
migration is a human right.
Should there?
See how she's just like shrieking she knows the catchphrase that she's supposed to say, the mantra she's supposed to repeat. And she's just throwing that out there. You know, she's just pushing it. But she doesn't have any like substantive reason that she can articulate. And by the way, not everybody's good at articulating themselves. I have stumbled over my words plenty of times in my life. I stream a lot. I say retarded things all the time. You know, thankfully, I have a chat with the top quintile of IQ, top 20% IQ. So you guys usually correct me if I get something wrong. She doesn't have a chat helping her out, to be fair. So let's be fair. Not everybody is good at expressing themselves, especially when they get emotional. But like, this is most leftists. They're not articulating anything that approximates a logical, well thought out position.
There be a border?
We're all immigrants. We're all immigrants.
Yes,
We're all immigrants.
To the level of how our institution is upholding and is abhorrent and disgusting. There's no excuse. There's no need for the.
It's crazy because this is where you could really see that suicidal empathy on display, especially this like fat feminist white guy. God, say when you see fat vegans, LOL. These folks don't know the value of property rights, so they say such things. Ask if they will take random people in their house, and they would say no. Yeah, it's like, okay, everybody has a right to be everywhere. And it's like, okay, would you have immigrants at your house? And they're like, no. So let me go over this James O'Keefe video. I'm sorry, we're doing a lot of videos today, and we're running long on the stream. But if you guys want to hang out, I'll do one more video. I'll probably hop off because 3 hours is a long time to be streaming. But I do want to get this one video because James O'Keefe, shout out James O'Keefe. Those of you that don't know, he's with, I don't know if he's still with Project Veritas, or if he's moved on from that. I know he's still doing like undercover journalism. He's his O'Keefe Media Group. I think he had a dust up with Project Veritas. I don't remember how that played out. But anyway, it's another James O'Keefe video. And this is apparently the Ice Out Minnesota protest from January 23rd. I just want to She's gonna read the fuck out of some smut after that emotional outburst. Yeah, bingo. She's gonna go goon.
Our undercover people arrived at the tail end of the protest that evening, including myself.
Watchdog, how you doing?
So he's coming in now. The difference is this is like much later at night. So this is where, and he's undercover. He's got his face covered, and he's gonna act like a retard so that they accept him.
What's going on? It's Jay O'Connell, Watchdog. My fiance is a teacher.
Is she? What's she teach? What's she teach?
Special needs.
Says we're gonna beat up ICE agents.
Don't you have a thing to cover your face?
We heard chants of ICE out and fuck.
Okay, where did all these signs come from? This is what I'm saying. Like, did these people all go to Kinko's on the same day and print an identical sign? Or did somebody print a bunch of signs, throw them in the back of a pickup truck, and start handing them out to people? And if so, who did that? Why did they do that? Who paid for it? How much do you think it costs to go to Kinko's and print all these signs?
ICE.
They all have signs.
Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE.
Hopefully the audience will forgive this reporter for participating in these chants in order to fit in. We found teachers, nurses, and union organizers all telling us, "We appreciate you, neighbor."
Appreciate you, neighbor. Appreciate you, neighbor. I appreciate you, neighbor. A guy came by before and he stopped here. There was a bunch of young kids and they handed out weed to everybody. Really? Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
It was so cool. I gave all mine away, all but a little bit, because I wanted to at least try it. You got anything better than weed? Love? Are you a paid agitator? Just kidding.
While many, probably many of you, might think this is all due to some specific centralized funding source, what we found is a hodgepodge of various NGOs.
Yeah, victims of their own conformity, each and every one. I think that's right. I think that's right. It's like, it's that, I think a lot of this isolation that we're experiencing culturally right now, which is probably intentional, makes people just desperately need a sense of belonging and community they're not getting from religion. And so they're just desperately need to do what everyone else is doing. They want to say comrades so bad. Good point. By the way, this is what he's talking about now, this network of NGOs. This gets into kind of what Iron Oxide was talking about in the chat earlier, is that some of these organizations get government money somehow. I think he's going to go over it, but I mean, I'm not like a fucking accounting expert or whatever, but like all that money that went missing in Minnesota, you're telling me none of it ended up with any of these people? I kind of think it did.
It was in nonprofits, loosely tied together through ideology, funded in part by the government, featuring 501c3s with...
Holy shit, dude. 16 million in government grants. $16 million. What the fuck? And 14 million in other contributions. What the fuck, dude? These are the people who want to destroy the country.
Nonprofit tax returns, a variety of funding sources. But most of these people we found were actually true believers, there to live and die by their cause.
What is this about? Yeah, so we're independent socialist national organization. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, so we are an independent socialist national organization. An independent national socialist organization, you say? An independent national socialist organization, you say? Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, so we are an independent socialist national organization that supports the fight against ICE. Oh my.
This woman, featured on a hidden camera, is Peggy Wang, based in Boston. She works at...
Oof, that's tough. Yeah, if I looked like that, I wouldn't support meritocracy either.
At Massachusetts College of Art and Design, active in the Massachusetts Teachers Association. She participates in pro-Palestinian protests, and her job is currently being threatened for doing so.
There it is. You see that? It's the same people who are into Palestine, trans rights, Ukraine, Black Lives Matter. It's the same people every time. They're getting more and more and more revved up every time. They got a pool of agitators they've built up.
While this footage is hard to hear, Peggy Wang lists the issues that her organization gets involved in: immigration rights, abolishing ICE, stopping raids and deportations, justice for victims, and getting ICE out of cities like Minneapolis.
So she's active in the unions as well. That's interesting. Specifically, the teachers union. So that's interesting. Not tremendously surprising.
Our unions definitely need to take the fight against ICE, against genocide, but also
saying something about like indigenous genocide. It's hard to say.
reproductive rights, universal healthcare. The big part of that should be labor, workers' party.
Labor Workers' Party. So this is just like, garden variety socialism he's talking about here. See, the Indie Nationalist Socialist Group is a bit of a mouthful. Maybe it can be shortened somehow. Yeah. Is there a shorter way to say National Socialist? God, if only there was a shorter way. If only someone had derived a shorter way to say National Socialist. God dang. All right.
We need a real political representation for working people. So working class party. Okay.
By the way, she's a college level art teacher talking about real representation for working class people.
It's a party? We're an organization. Independent socialist group.
This other protester we secretly recorded talks about an organization called Make the Road New York. We've never heard of this organization, but apparently they have a budget of $30 million. They talk about one of the speakers that spoke earlier that day, April Veretti. April is the president of the SEIU labor union.
I mean, if you're interested in an immigrants' rights organization, you should look up Make the Road New York.
Make the Road New York.
Make the Road.
But who are you with?
I'm just with with the union.
Oh.
Yeah. SEIU, Service Employees International.
We looked at the tax returns of Make the Road New York and found they're a registered 501c3 that file a 990, and they received $16 million in grants.
They're using that for street protests. Jeez. And this is a great point. All these things are decided in the halls of legislation, not the streets. If they truly wanted change for the greater good, they wouldn't need a mob. And that's true. That's true.
As cars drove by, the agitators would ride on top of the cars.
And Frank wrote a whole diary about this shit.
Man's spoiler was broken off his car as one agitator tried to climb on board the car.
These people are just trying to get through, probably.
What happened? What was that? Accidentally broke his wing on his car.
Yeah. And I think, so I'm saying there is like a low vibrational violent energy that's kind of in this mob that's waiting for an opportunity to escalate. That's there. That's present.
So shit out of that wing right there.
One of the comments they made was, there's no blood here, and there's no Trump people, there's no MAGA people, because if there was, there would be blood.
We had one person. Any fascists right through here today? Nope, not yet. See any blood on the ground?
I see. Okay, so any fascist drive through, and I'm assuming by fascist they mean like you people, you fine people who watch the show. And the response is, no, of course there haven't been any fascists by. You don't see any blood on the ground, do you? Crazy.
I haven't seen any blood. That's how we know there's no fascists. They haven't showed up. They haven't showed up.
One of the advantages of it being so cold is we were able to cover every single part of our skin. But these conditions were truly dangerous. Many of our DSLR cameras actually froze. Our hidden cameras malfunctioned in minutes because it was so cold.
You make this?
I did. I made it for the Powderhorn Art Festival because I want to melt ice and get them the fuck out of here.
It's not melting. Oh, it's like, what? Oh, you know why? This is so cold out. Yeah.
And we watched water freeze in seconds. A bottle of water could quickly be turned into a weapon. Negative 17-degree weather.
Jeez, it's crazy how they got people out there despite how cold it is.
Let's see how fast that freezes.
Wild.
1, 2, 3. It's already frozen.
Anyway, dude, fucking crazy, man. Fucking crazy. Anyway, so that's what the fuck is going on in Minneapolis. Holy shit. It seems like, yeah, it's disturbing to me how much of this shit seems to be like government funded. And they're trying to sell us this narrative that it's a completely organic uprising. And it's all about like people who are being oppressed, and it's oppressed people crying out against the Nazi overlord government that wants to take them out. And that's just like not reality. That's just not reality. It seems like this is being funded by shit. I don't know if we'll ever know for sure who's doing all of the funding, but yeah. Carmel will get the ball. Hypothermia. Yeah, dude, it's crazy cold. That's crazy. It's crazy that they're out there with how cold it is. Jeez. All right. Well, anyway, folks, this has been really rad. I've been streaming for like 3 hours, so I'm going to hop off. This has been fucking awesome. Make sure to check me out later tonight on Ironcast. It's going to be at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time over on Iron Oxide's channel. Then I'll be back live on this channel this coming Saturday. Just a reminder, I'm live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific time on my channel. Also, I got a big road trip coming up. Make sure to follow me on social media so you can see where I'm going to be performing live comedy. It's been awesome hanging out with you guys. Now, please enjoy the intro to my other show is the outro to this show. Thank you very much. Beep.
Look at that crack. Stanley's crack look good. This Johnson crack look good. Well, look at my crack. No. Look at that crack.
Are we looking at ours as cat now?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't hear a damn thing you said.
All right.
And because I was a gazillionaire and I like building so much, I cut that price for free.
The species is dying. The birth rate is plummeting. Women are chopped. But yeah, you know what? Get a fucking cat.
I know even more about grants.